Welcome, race fans, to the Belly Up Sports Cup Series Amazonian 200 here at the USA International Speedway. No longer here in real life, but in the hearts of these drivers. They're going to physically feel it tonight. Joining me here today, David Huckleberry, the producer. Glad to have him back, bringing you these amazing shots from the USA International Racetrack here. Joining me as well, David Westergreen, my co-announcer. Excited here tonight to be able to see 200 laps short track racing. Are you excited as much as I am, Dave?
I'm a little worried. Short tracks and elites have not mixed in the past, but we're obviously fingers crossed that we'll mix them nicely tonight and have a good, exciting race.
That's the point standings you see on screen right there. Matthew Weeks, still the points leader, gained some more here. Now has quite a big of a lead there over Tyler Fody. The top 14 drivers are the ones you're going to keep an eye on. They're the ones battling to get into the playoffs. Once we get closer to that point, we'll have them marked and designated. And the drivers are just now finishing up the qualifying lap. We're going to go through the field here, folks, as we take a look at our starting lineup. Oh, never mind. We're going to have a heat race. I
think we're pushing through the heat. I think we'll
I don't think it's meant to be a heat race. I think it's just how we had to set qualifying due to how many cars ended up starting tonight.
I think Chad's telling them they're supposed to run about 50% and not wreck each other. So we'll see how this goes.
There you go. Alrighty.
Well, that just gives us more time to be able to go through the field as far as our point standings as well as our rookie standings. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rookie standings here. Justin Wadsworth, not a guy I would normally think as a rookie. He's raced in Elite and trucks in another series for Elite for a little while now, but has a decent point standings right in front of Ty McIntosh. Gavin Hibbs, one of those rookie drivers that has had some really strong performances so far this season. William White, one of those drivers that also, depending on the track, will have a shot at being able to have some really good, strong finishes. So a very strong rookie class this season. Wouldn't you say, David?
Yeah, this is certainly a strong group, and I don't even think we've seen the best out of this group, right? William White, Elaine Norgard haven't run the full season, and then, Ty McIntosh and Gavin Hibbs have been involved in just my expectation is that the pair of them will, give Justin Wadsworth a run for that Rookie of the Year standing by the end of the season.
Absolutely, yeah. It's exciting racing all through the field, through the rookie class, through the regular season here. As we said, it is race number 7. You're wondering why we call it the Amazonian 200. That is all due to our producer here, Dave Huckleberry, coming up with the idea. This is no longer a racetrack in real life. This is an Amazon warehouse. So, probably the same size, given how big Amazon warehouses probably are. I would love to see them just be able to empty out their Amazon warehouse and let them still do races from time to time, if they could, just to have some fun. Because I know I've been in a couple of those Amazon warehouses, David, and they are absolutely massive.
Hey, you wonder if Jeff Bezos wouldn't just, put the Amazon warehouse in the middle, let him run around it, and then sell some seats on top, right? Like, it would work out, but we're green for this heat. It's not really a heat that's going to matter any. These drivers are just going to line up, I think, 31st through 43rd on the grid. They should continue their running order from where they qualified, single out, and I think we're just running 3 laps. That should get us to being able to run the starting lineup, but I guess we could announce the pole winner here as well, since we know that. That'll be Chase Cabry, who is making his first Elite Cup Series start. And if you recognize the name, he's run a few NASCAR races in the past, but I believe he's also Haley Deegan's boyfriend.
Yep, that is for sure. Has shown to be very fast. I know that very well. He's kept me out of victory lane in the truck series so far this season. And has some really good, strong finishes in the Xfinity, making his first Cup start here. He finally got enough starts in the other series to be able to show up for tonight. And already making people regret that he showed up by quickly getting the pole and setting himself on top. So a very fast driver that some of these guys are going to have to keep an eye on here at the short track. But with strategy, it is not a foregone conclusion, as we do have a wreck in the heat race. Of course we do. As the checkered flag comes out. But it is not a foregone conclusion. Even if you have the fastest car, strategy will definitely come out to play to be able to determine who is going to win tonight's race. 200 laps. There are, we have the sets of tires here for later on, but we'll go through that as we're going to go through the field. As you said, Chase Cabrey, not in his right car numbers. He's number 36. He actually stole that number from second place qualifier, Garrison Hogan. He's actually the number 6. So a little difference in the numbers that are not registered to actually what's on their vehicles. Trey Holmes going to be starting in the 3rd position. Tyler Fody will be starting in the 4th. Starting 5th is going to be our points leader, Matthew Weeks. R.C. Anderson will start 6th. Chad Frankenfield, 7th. Scott Crump, 8th. Justin Wadsworth, our rookie leader, starting in 9th. Hunter Smith going to be starting in 10th. Elite Norgard, 11th. And Ryan Schold in 12th.
Yeah, starting 13th, David Tooker. Then 14th through 17th is a run of the Mountain Man Motorsports cars. That's Jordan Owens, Johnny Thomas, Vincent Isabella, and Chris Wright, all right in a row. Gavin Hibbs will start 18th. Wyatt Knadel will start 19th. Colin Culpa will start in 20th. Then in 21st, it's last week's winner, Ethan Burrell. The 22nd will be Nick Massey. 23rd, Josh Adams, making the race for Gerald's podcast as the sponsor over there. Starting 24th will be Sonny D, Andrew Rucker.
25th will be Justin Fortner. 26th, Seth Rawls. Jesse Racimus going to be starting in 28th. Justin Vandermeer in 28th. Michael Hossack, 29th. Dustin Dewar for 30th. Ty McIntosh, 31st. Ethan Stanley, 32nd. Brent Jones, 33rd. Kyle Hanshaw, 34th. And Michael Goodman, 35th. And in 36th is Joshua Personette.
And rounding out the field, 37th, the COTA winner, Ryan Gable. 38th will be Nick Indelicato. Mark Robilas will start 39th. Casey Hatch will start 40th. Tate Lytle, 41st. Joshua Clark, 42nd. Jonathan Cutlip did not get a qualifying lap in. He'll start 43rd. And then, worth noting, R.C. Anderson did get an EOL, I believe, for a banner change. But it's understandable from R.C. Anderson, the Phoenix winner's perspective. He slapped the paint scheme on there that they're going to be running on Saturday at COTA. So look out for him in the real-life NASCAR series. And it looks to me like Chase Cabrey did not grid. So we might be down 2 of our bigger stars in this one. It looks like Trey Holmes is now going to start effectively from the pole.
Yeah, interesting news here as some of our top qualifiers are going to be dropping to the back, but the pace car lights are off, folks. We're about to get going green here. We're going to see a short track action like no other here at USA, and we're getting ready here as Trey Holmes will be leading off that bottom lane where the racing gets good, and the good get racing. They're whittling already, and the green flag is out. And so far, it looks like that top lane worked out really well for the front two, able to jump down and clear themselves as it is side by side for the rest of the field.
Yep, looks like the top lane had a big advantage. Garrison Hogan takes the lead. That's our Homestead winner right there. He is locked into the playoffs. Tyler Fody up to 2nd. Trey Holmes battling with Scott Crump for 3rd, and he'll throw a block on Crump down into turn number 1.
Oh, bumping and banging already beginning. Scott Crump right on the back of Trey Holmes, giving him a little bit of a shot, letting him know he is looking. Oh, he's got he's going to spin him already. Oh, how they saved it. Scott Crump already making enemies in the early part.
Oh, Wadsworth and Smith are going to wreck. Oh, they saved it again. Trey Holmes is way back now after starting on the front row. They're still 2 and 3 wide back here around Trey and Vincent Isabella. Vincent's cutting Trey a little bit of a break.
Trey Holmes has fallen back, and he's getting abused and used right now.
Oh, Jordan looped it. No, this is going to be a pile up in turn 3. And they somebody.
I said Anderson.
Yep.
Oh,
that's
big wreck.
That's the owner of the Xfinity Series team there. I believe Gavin Hibbs was the one who got spun out once Jordan Owens lost it on corner entry. And Gavin spun to avoid him, and then Gavin got T-boned by somebody else. I don't know who would have clobbered him.
David Tooker there got into the back of the 16. Having nowhere to go.
Yep. Gavin slides down the track, and you're going to see somebody's going to take the left front off of this car. That's Justin Vandermarl. Looks like Ethan Stanley's going to get big damage.
Ooh.
And Vandermarl got clobbered into the barrels.
That is probably worse than if you just hit a car.
Eyes in it.
He's lucky that he didn't get stuck.
John Cutlip is in this crash as well. Worth noting that Chase Cabry started on pit road. He'll miss this whole thing. He has no damage.
Maybe on purpose.
Well, the racing was certainly wild and crazy there, and yeah, Ethan Stanley nowhere to go. And then I think Cutlip's going to get damaged. I think Kyle Hanshaw's got a little bit of damage here.
Yeah, this got out of control very quick. It took one aggressive move to cause everyone to get bloodthirsty. It was like a drop of blood, and everyone started nibbling. And unfortunately, the 16 went around, and man, they just on a track like this, there is nowhere to go. I mean, you see, you're like, oh, why don't they just stop? Well, you got a car right to your back bumper. You really can't.
Jesse Rasmus going out to the top. Dewar, I think, is able to stop and avoid this thing. A little bit of damage. I don't know that that's going to hurt this next gen car any. Oh, Goody got into him as well.
Goody forgot which was the clutch and the brake pedal. I think a little bit there, but
worth noting. Well, Gerald, it is worth noting that these guys are running a super rear brake friendly setup, and that's not going to help you when you have to stop for a wreck, right? Even if Goody slams on the brakes right here, that right front tire is not going to be gripping up to slow him down, and those rear tires are not going to stop this car in time. It's to help you go faster on track, but then you go faster into the wreck.
And let's be fair, there's not going to be any aero issues at this racetrack. You could probably still have a pretty decent finish even if you didn't even have a front bumper on. These drivers aren't going to have a lot of time on pit road to fix damage without the risk of going multiple laps down, as we're going to be lined back up. A few drivers are going to go a lap down here at the beginning, as Jordan Owens is going to be dropping all the way to the back. Pace car is going to be coming back down. It's going to go back to Garrison Hogan here. Now Tyler Fody to his out flag, as the green flag has just been waved. Garrison Hogan gets a really good start with Matthew Weeks, our points leader, going to be able to drop into that second position.
It looks like whatever lane that leader has is the big and preferred lane here, as Tyler Fody and gets into third around Chad Frankenfield. And it feels like last week we had Matthew Weeks, Tyler Fody, Chad Frankenfield all battling for the lead at Gateway. We're at a similarly shaped track, even if it's a little bit shorter. Those three are all up here battling for the lead once again. Those guys are pretty good at these long straightaways, sharp turns.
Yeah, to be fair, I think it's going to come down to luck if you're not one of those first few drivers there. But real quick, everyone knows that Scott Crump is going to be super aggressive here, but Scott Crump also knows that he pretty much just filed his own death wish, because everyone's going to use that against him if they have to use the bumper back to him. They're going to remind him of what he did earlier on in this race, and he's not going to be able to have any high ground argument there. As you see further back, some more battling there, as looks like Vincent is going to try to make the pass on Trey Holmes.
They're 3 wide in the back of the field around Chase Cabry right here, and that's pretty exciting. If we can get a chance to take a look at this big pack of cars. It's Ethan Stanley now 3 wide with Rabilas and Tate Lytle. Tate and Cabry are kind of stuck in behind this big group of cars. There's nowhere to go.
Oh boy, man, I think Goody's going to be smart here. He's like, you know what? You go right on ahead. There's a lot of fast cars that are now in the back of this pack looking to try to make their way up. They are just putting themselves in a bad spot. They do not remember what happened last week when they were deep in the field, as they are still all on top of each other here.
Tate Lytle, Chase Cabry, Ethan Stanley, all guys who you would think might run in the top 10 at some point in this race, all trying to come from way in the back.
One thing that we haven't really stated here, these guys are shifting. They have all reported that, you see the 99 lock up the tires, and that is something I was just about to get to. They're all reporting very easy to lock up those front tires and be able to slam into the back of somebody. So every driver is having to now deal with having to upshift and downshift, as well as try to somehow keep an eye on the guy in front of them when doing that. As you see right there, really good run so far for Justin Wadsworth underneath Tyler Fody, our last year's champion. What a really good run for that rookie here tonight.
Yeah, it is. And Wadsworth's been contending, I think, for sure, but contending for top 10s we talked about the difficulty of winning a race in this league. The only guy with multiple wins is that guy in second place, Matthew Weeks. So Wadsworth has had speed. He's had top 10 pace at a number of different tracks. We saw him getting in some incidents at Daytona, but besides that, he's been very, very steady in the 6 car. And Tyler Fode's been falling back. He lost a spot to Chad Frankenfield. He's now battling side by side with Justin Wadsworth, and he's kind of on a losing end of this battle. And now his teammate Scott Crump's going to try to get up underneath him.
Yeah, all it took for Justin Wadsworth to get into the top 5 was to change his colors from blue to red. Oh, caution is out. I'm trying to see where at. I think it's on the front straightaway. Might have been Rucker. I'm hearing a lot of people call out Rucker.
Oh, Sunny D, no.
Early Sunny D incidents here?
There's no damage on Sunny D. Did he get into somebody? Oh, it's in front of him. Is that... Oh, he got hit by Josh Adams.
That is a part of Josh Adams' contract is to take Sunny D out at least once in the race. So I mean, he's
yep, and
perfectly obligated at some point to be able to do this.
That was it. It was a good obligation there. You know, Rucker's been looped, contract fulfilled, and
I don't think they're both going to get away with it.
Yep. Yeah,
so I mean,
racing incident. I think the right call there. You know, Rucker not trying to cut down across Adams' nose. Adams not trying to spin Rucker out. Just a little change of momentum in the middle of the corner with a car way up the racetrack in front of them, and ultimately that I think gets Rucker spun out. But Rucker's going to come. He's going to get 4 fresh tires right here and see if he can make his way through the field.
I will never disagree with the broadcast or with the race control on here. But I will say I was a very adamant person on last Thursday's podcast. I fully believe we need to start having, if 2 people are involved, both of them get penalties. But that's just me.
I think what you're going for, there should be a double fault, right?
Double fault.
In that case, I think racing incident is the right call. But if 2 different people have a very big hand in a wreck, it's not really a racing incident at that point. It's just a 2 different tally penalties.
I agree.
Obviously, we're smart enough to be able to assign them each a half a tally, and still, when you get to 2, you're done.
You know what? I would assign and agree with that, Dave. I think I would back down from a full tally to a half a tally, and then if they collect 4 of them, then
4 racing incidents you park.
There you go. I don't know that I hate that either.
Yeah. Because if you keep putting your nose in a bad situation, Chad, and you go, oh, well, it's a racing situation, but you keep putting your nose in bad situations, eventually you're going to want to stop putting your nose in bad situations, even if you try to stand on the high ground that, well, they came down. But that's just me. We'll talk more about that on Thursday, but I do agree with, I will agree with Dave's assessment there of a half a penalty at least. That's more for us to talk about for the podcast tomorrow night. But early on incident here on lap 21, 2 cautions so far in this event, and really not too many people taken out. I believe we only have 1 person that's out of the race, and that's R.C. Anderson, surprisingly.
Looks like he did a start and park.
Yeah, but he's got more interesting things to worry about, like racing in Circuit of the Americas this weekend on Saturday in the Xfinity Series, and I think that would take precedence over this series. Slightly,
maybe just a little bit.
A little bit.
I think he might make more money there.
Is he gonna have an elite logo on his car? That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I
don't think he will though. I think that scheme's looking pretty good. It's pretty
tiny little sticker.
It's gonna be good to see RC out there.
I did send him a diagram of the podcast logo, but I don't think that's going on there either.
Yeah, I don't know if he's in control of that.
It looks like they're going to line him back up once again, but I'm seeing a very jittery number 15 right there, starting to test the waters, to say. He won on Sunday night in the trucks on a short track, and he's trying to see if he can go back-to-back on short tracks here. Now going to be right to the back bumper of Garrison Hogan as the green flag is back out. First couple rows get going. Oh, a couple cars stacking up back there. Not a great restart back in the back.
Chris Wright was the one I saw cutting down to the very bottom of the racetrack. The belly up sports number 9 car. He's gathered it up though.
Oh,
Crump overcorrected it. Huge hit.
He came down on somebody. Oh, the 56 around. A few people. No one really hit hard other than Scott Crump is absolutely destroyed here.
Oh, Scott Crump is
all comes down to what did you do earlier in the race, Scott?
Wow.
I said it was going to come to bite him, and it happened earlier than I thought.
Trey Holmes has already typed LOL in the driver's chat on this one, and yeah, I mean, I think the blame's going to go to Hunter Smith.
I said it. Though. I don't know if you can because he was there. I mean, half a point.
Yeah, right. This is one of those situations I would have assigned half a
point for both of them because I mean Scott Crump is very aggressive, aggressive block here.
Kind of a challenge, like you're not gonna wreck me, are you? And again, Hunter Smith was just kind of like, yeah, I mean,
yeah. Who is Trey Holmes is on team with? Is he? Are they on the same team?
Fueled up. No, Scott is Lake Norman. Trey is fueled up.
No. The 4 or the 54.
No,
that's Hunter Smith. Little Eagle.
That's the
Little Eagle.
Little Eagle.
Chad.
Okay. Chad, yeah, came down to Chad. Yeah.
He's got his teammate Ryan Schuld right behind him there.
Identical car.
Paint jobs.
Warrior for Peace is a little iron.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, and Mark's gonna obviously, since we don't have the half tally there, then it becomes a racing incident. So this would be the time.
I honestly, half a tallies need to be implemented on a situation like that. I would do absolutely half a tally on both of those drivers. Not that it really matters for Scott Crump because his night is finito there, as he's already behind the wall, collected up his pieces, and will promptly go home early here tonight. But again, I said it early on. He put a precedent down. Lap 3, he was super aggressive. He pushed the 88 right up out of the racetrack early on to say, hey, you know what? I'm on the move. And you know what? To be fair for Smith, he said the same thing right there. Hey, I'm here, buddy. What are you doing?
Yep.
And, just aggressive.
Scott Crump was fastest in practice also, so that kind of opens the door for the rest of the guys in this field. I think, in fact, the first 5 drivers in practice by practice speed, only one is incident-free so far. That is Ethan Burrell. Chase Cabrey started from pit road. R.C. Anderson's out of the race already. Jonathan Cutlip was sucked up in the last 2 wrecks. And Scott Crump obviously has been, pretty much crashed for the night. So,
well, that's what this really pulls up for us to have to talk about. Go ahead and pull up that bracket challenge that we have going on tonight, because this essentially ended one of the brackets. That's been determined very early on here. Scott Crump versus Tyler Fody has been essentially determined at this point. It will be Tyler Fody moving on. Now it goes down to Tate Lytle versus David Tooker, and guess who was involved in that wreck?
Tate Lytle. Yep.
Tate Lytle.
And yeah, I mean,
Tate Lytle's going to keep going though.
It's kept, it's Lake Norman versus Pro Edge in the final guarantee, which will be, I believe, next week. And I don't remember where we are next week off the top of my head. Let me look it up real quick. Brands Hatch. Bodes well for Tooker if he can get to the road course, but I think Fody will also be pretty strong at a road course.
Oh, the pace car lights are off. We're going to be going back to green here once again. Garrison Hogan's going to still have the lead here as he will lead off on that bottom lane. But Matthew Weeks had a really good start here. He's going to be contending for that lead here.
Is on the outside lane. That's not the preferred lane around here, but you can make it work in short bursts. I don't know if it's going to work for Matthew right here, but he sends it in up top.
He's going to have to try to pinch him. He's not going to be able to do so, but oh boy, Garrison Hogan got loose coming out of turn 4, and right there Chad Frankfield is starting to lick his lips, trying to figure out how to make a 3-wide situation happen here. As here they come out of turn 2, Garrison Hogan is able to clear. Matthew Weeks is going to slot up behind him, as now it looks like our top 9 drivers are able to get to single file out here.
And entering the top 10, the yellow and black car, that's last week's winner, Ethan Burrell. He had a pretty bad qualifying run, but he's worked his way forward so far, and he's challenging a Leighton Norgard for that 9th position.
Yeah, last week he was able to do good their very first win. Now he's trying to see if he can be able to back that up once again, trying to work underneath the Leighton Norgard. and will do so. So that will put him up into that 9th position here. Now has a few more fast drivers in front of him as we get further along into this race here, already onto lap 32. Now our top 9 drivers are all singled out.
And here comes Nick Massey going after Norgard for that 10th position. Massey has not been nearly as impressive in this next-gen car as I think everybody was kind of expecting. And Massey even himself was in here earlier and said, he wasn't really confident, doesn't really like this car. He's driven it up into the top 10 here early on. Looks pretty smooth to me.
Now, so far, this has been the calmest that I've seen the racetrack in a while. Everyone's getting plenty of distance here, so very nice to see that these drivers are going to start getting into a groove here, as our leader has gotten out to a little bit of a distance now, as you see our closest battle to the front is going to be right here. It looks like Adams is going to try to take a look underneath the 26th there. That is a battle for
21st. 21st.
Oh, Ethan Stanley threw it in there.
Yep, and all it took was a little bobble by Josh Adams to open up the door for Ethan Stanley. Right behind them is Chase Cabry, the pole sitter, trying to work his way back up from missing the grid.
And one thing you'll take note here, very clean race car right now, that Chase Cabry's car right now. So not the exact position he wanted to be in, but as long as he has a clean car, he has a chance. Still plenty of laps here to be able to make it happen here. Oh, back there, you see the 14 gets sideways. Oh boy, that's something that these drivers are going to have to contend with. It's going to be the handle, especially with how they're having to upshift and downshift once these tires start to wear out a little bit.
Yeah, Casey Hatch, that 14 car, the mellow yellow machine, and he's still falling back. Now he's in the clutches of Jonathan Cutlip, Tate Lytle, Sonny D. Got the Sonny D versus mellow yellow battle commencing once again.
Let's go ahead and take an onboard shot of maybe someone up at the front here, and let's go on board with them. See how they're shifting up there. Last week we saw them shift all the way down into the 3rd gear. We didn't think we'd ever see that, but they shifted from 3rd to 5th, so at least they're having a little bit easier time, not having to go all the way down to 3rd.
Yeah, I'd asked my driver contacts what the shifting would be, since we didn't know last week apparently, but yeah, I mean, 4th gear in the center of the corners on corner entry, pretty standard as you watch Matthew Weeks here. This is kind of what I was expecting at Gateway, and it's obviously working out here nicely at, I think this is USA technically.
I mean,
USA
we are in
International.
USA.
Yeah, USA International Speedway. It's also got, I think it's Lakeland is the other name that you could use for it.
Yeah, it was pretty close to my house. It was sad.
This is one of them short tracks. It's got those tight radius corners. You got to really slow down, and you see Matthew Weeks has really pulled up on the back bumper of Garrison Hogan here, and you can't see it in that shot, but right here, Chad Frankenfield's all over the back bumper of Matthew Weeks. So this is now a 3-way battle for the lead here after a couple of laps into this run.
Yeah, one thing you shouldn't have given Chad was a lot of confidence, and he has got it after that win on Sunday night, coming into tonight, trying to end that Cup winless streak that he's been on for oh so long. Trying to get that done here tonight, has a lot of confidence coming in, as he is now battling with 2 Toyotas right in front of him.
Weeks, really, his rotors are glowing, and I'm wondering if anybody else has rotors quite that hot. Matthew Weeks' left rear is really, really smoking. You can kind of see it. I think Tyler Fodes is pretty hot right now too, but I'm trying to see if there's any, I don't think in iRacing you can cook the brakes or overheat the brakes, but that's a very common thing in real racing, and I'm only really seeing it on Matthew Weeks' car. We're not seeing it quite as much on Chad's.
If we can get a side view, you were talking about rear brakes getting really red and everything. I am watching. Wow, look how red that they're getting there. Unbelievable already into this race. How red the back rotors are getting on these cars. You see Matthew Weeks, hardly anything in the front, and it is cooking in the rear, and that's got to be burning up those rear tires a little bit, wouldn't you think?
I mean, I would think. I don't know how to react to that necessarily for this broadcast, because in real life you cook the brake pedal and then you lose your brakes. There's no losing brakes in iRacing, right? These guys aren't going to break the brake pedal. You see it on Garrison Hogan's car as well. That just means they're running more rear brake. Does that affect the handling? Because Chad Frankenfield obviously doesn't have the glowing rear rotors. I don't know. It just means Chad and Weeks and Hogan are all running kind of a different setup. But beyond that, is it going to have any effect on tire wear? I'm not sure. And we'll just need more laps to see who's going to win this battle of the brake rotors, I suppose, because Weeks is really challenging for the lead here just about every corner.
Absolutely. He's going to be into the inside. First time in a while that he's actually going to be trying to challenge for the lead here. He's going to be underneath the 36 coming out of turn number 4 at the line. It's still Garrison Hogan. Chad Frankenfield's right on them as well, waiting to see which one's going to prevail. As so far, Garrison Hogan's done a really good job of just kind of holding them off, just running up that high lane. The question is he pushing it all the way, or is he allowing them to try to use up their stuff a little bit, trying to get around it?
That's a big short track move. It's a move Ryan Lutz used to use back in the day. Run them close, let them catch you, let them burn their stuff up, and then drive away from them late in the run. Never mind on late in the run. Caution flag is out.
Trying to see where at.
Casey Hatch.
Was a very good long flag, green flag run. I wonder how long that was.
Yeah, we were talking before the race about the potential for the longest green flag run in the race, and we might have hit your number there. We were close to it, and Wyatt Knadel into the back of Casey Hatch.
Hard hit for Casey Hatch. Just kind of got punted there, I think.
Yeah, Wyatt and Casey I believe used to be teammates at Fueled Up, but Wyatt is now with 21 Savage, and got into Casey, sent him head on into the wall. Oh, we got some pit strategy.
Yeah, well, I think everyone's going to be probably coming down at this point.
That is not what happened. We have 3,
everybody.
4 staying out, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to be a split field as Matthew Weeks, Chad Frankenfield lead us down pit road. After pit stops, we should probably pay some bills.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we saw pit stops really kind of change up the dynamic of last week's race. I mean, it put people in the back and put other people up in the front. Now we're going to have a big speed differential between drivers with fresh tires and guys with not so fresh tires. I think the ones that were frustrated that they couldn't pit or couldn't pass the leader or make any kind of gains all decided to pit there. One thing that we did see is a lot of guys that had situations where there are not great qualifying starts that were in the back are going to have a chance now to finally get up front here. But we're going to go ahead and give it over to Dave here as he's going to go, and we're going to take a commercial break here.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're back already a quarter of the way through this race here as they're going to be lining them back up here. We're going to go through the top 10 as it has changed quite a bit. Garrison Hogan's going to be starting first as he's been this entire race. Fody is now in the second position. Vincent Isabella going to be able to get that gold car up into third. Brian Gavel up to fourth. Ethan Stanley finally done trying to make aggressive moves. Going to find himself now in the fifth position. Joshua Adams there going to be starting in sixth. Tate Lytle's going to hopefully be above all of that. That stuff going on in the back. Going to be starting in seventh. Joshua Clark eighth. Jonathan Cutlip in ninth, and the first guy with fresh tires, Matthew Weeks, going to be starting in that 10th position.
Yeah, this is really going to turn the race on its head. We got a lot of fast guys kind of back in the field a little bit. And, I think Garrison Hogan is even further back than that. I don't know what happened to I guess it's the 45 car this week, but he ended up way further back.
for. All we
Oh,
can
no, never
say
mind. He
is-
stayed out. That's what it is. Whoops.
All we gotta say is breathe, folks. Breathe, because you're about to get huffing and puffing here. As green flag is back out, Garrison Hogan's gonna lead once again. Now drivers are gonna have to contend with different sets of grip ability out there as they try to work their way through the field. They have to have patience here. They have to work together, even if they're racing against each other, because one slip up will cause a huge pile up on a track like this where there's walls to the inside and to the outside.
We're watching those guys on fresh tires. Early return is no gain. Matthew Weeks now 3 wide with his teammate Josh Clark.
3 wide. Oh boy, not in the best position there. I think he's trying to be a little bit too cautious. Chad Frankenfield's got that preferred bottom lane. Is starting to work his way up to the front. Oh, Johnny Thomas around into the inside wall.
And big hit for Johnny. That's a tough break, and it looked like contact with the Leighton Norgard. We'll have to take a look back and see. Might not have been Norgard.
No, I didn't think it was Norgard. I thought it was the 10.
I think it's the 10 car here.
Yeah.
Well, a little contact there, but yeah, right there, Norgard.
Oh, it was
comes up the
Norgard.
track. Yep.
Yeah.
And Leighton gets into the 91 there and turns him into the inside wall. We'll
That's
see what-
rough for Johnny. He's been having a little bit of a rough spell here.
Yeah, Johnny will tell you, if he gets raced clean, he'll run top 10, but well, he's been in a lot of our incidents so far this season.
A lot of incidents indeed. I kind of went over incidences in the podcast there. Some of these drivers are kind of got a lot of incident points so far this season. When you say, David?
It's worth noting the incident point count on Sim Racer Hub is not going to reflect the proper number of incidents, and we're getting a racing deal, so I mean, I guess, but it's not going to reflect the proper number of incidents because CODA has off tracks every time you touch something that's not the racetrack.
Okay.
The F1 rules, so that's going to drive that up by a lot.
So take out 100 incident points.
Yeah.
Just let's take 100 incident points. The guy with the most incident points would still have 150.
Right. Yeah. There's been a lot of wrecks, I think, in this series this season. We've seen a lot of attrition over the first 7 races. I mean, that's why a guy like this right here, Casey Hatch, is still out there, is because there's a lot of attrition in these races, and there's bound to be more incidents that take out more drivers.
That is true. And to be fair, a rough couple tracks to go to if we're going to be taking a look at a short number of races to judge off of. I mean, we're talking Phoenix, a very rough and tumble track. We're talking, Gateway, which was a very difficult setup with downshifting into third and a very hard handling car. We're talking about here, we're going to go to USA. I mean, just the amount of cars or tracks that we've gone to probably is not the best known for tracks that you are not going to be leaning on somebody.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be cautions, incident points, tallies given out, etc. Throughout this race, and we saw Chad Frankenfield be the top tired car here, taking advantage of that rubber. He moved up to 7th. He'll now start 4th car on the inside lane. So I think kind of the ball's in Chad Frankenfield's court here to move up. There's going to be Tate Lytle and Vincent Isabella in front of him, a couple of aggressive guys, but I think guys that Chad's gonna have the pace to get around with those fresh tires, and if he can make quick work of the group in front of him, I think this could be a pretty big advantage for Chad Frankenfield.
And the question will be, of course, is it going to work out smoothly for him? Because he's not only just going to be racing with guys with older tires, but it always seems to be the case when you're the lead shark. Everyone wants to be the lead shark. So even the guys with fresh tires are going to want to be jumping in front of Chad Frankenfield and lead the charge of the fresh tires. So it's always that constant battle of passing the slower guys in front of you while also trying to mind who you're really racing against. It's similar age tires. So there's that balance that always comes into play. A lot to think about. It's not just going in circles, folks. That's a lot of thought that goes into what's going on track, and there's no one in your head but you telling you all this stuff. So You have to keep a track of all of that. As the pace car lights are going to be going off, the 36 will be leading it once again here for the sixth start here. Oh, he gets a little loose on that restart. That's going to allow Tyler Fode a really good chance to see if he can capitalize on this mistake by Garrison Hogan.
Old tires on old tires there, and behind them, they're still side by side, but Tate Lytle's going to look to take it 3 wide around Vincent Isabella. That could... Vincent had room to slide up. Gavel cleared him coming out of turn 2. And Tate Lytle's got a little bit fresher tires than some of these other guys that stayed out. He and Jonathan Cutler did pit after their incidents. So now Tate's up to 4th, looking after Gavel for 3rd, and Chad Frankenfield's underneath Vincent Isabella for 5th.
I saw about 3 different incidents of 3 wide, and I'm still seeing 3 wide take place back there. They are not afraid to try to push the issue here. It's just the question of, do you over push? And that's what causes these issues. Right now, it looks like Matthew Weeks able to get around the 1 there. Now going to try to see if he can follow Chad Frankenfield through the field, but Chad is starting to make quick work of these guys up here, already up into that 5th position. Now trying to see if he can get into the back of that 56 of Tate Lytle. Oh,
Loose.
Tate Lytle, loose.
David Tooker, now the 2nd car on fresh tires, Ethan Burrell being that 3rd car, so all 3 of those guys have gotten in front of Matthew Weeks, who was just challenging for the lead, and meanwhile, Chad Frankenfield took to the top.
Oh, Nick Massey, 31, 33, oh boy, it's a parking lot there. There's nowhere to go.
I saw up to Gavin Hibbs pull by, and then no one else was there. Jordan Owens, Dusty Dewar, Josh Adams, Seth Rawls spun around, Colin Culpa.
Oh, Nick, no.
I don't think Nick knew that the 80 car was there on the apron either.
Oh boy. I'm
Let's
pretty
take a
sure
look.
I saw what happened. Nick Massey, I think, got loose coming out of the turn and absolutely hooked that
The one car.
yeah, the Simply Racing podcast car right there. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yep. That's exactly what happened. Hunter Smith's going to get damage in this one. Does he go all the way around? It looks like he might, but Norgard hits hard into the 48. Colin Culpa nowhere to go. Trey Holmes nowhere to go. Chase Cabry, Chris Wright,
Everyone.
Rawl, Sonny D, Justin Fortner, Ethan Stanley, who had just pitted, Jesse Rasmus back here, and then everybody else behind them managed to stop, it looks like. Brent Jones stopped. Goody stopped. Michael Hosak stopped.
Now keep it on this view, because
Yep.
there's one more wreck that happened right at the end.
Yeah. 80 car Vandermarl fired it up, tried to get by the 48, who I think has to
be
go
fair,
back.
the pace car was coming.
Yeah, they were kind of all trying to get out at the same time, and I think Nick's going to pull forward right into the 80 right there.
I don't know what holds on the bumpers, but I think whatever shoestrings that were on it were all cut.
Yeah. I'll tell you who this benefited was the 01, the 56, the 5, and the 3. Those 5 would have been directly involved in this wreck. Or those 4 would have been directly involved in this wreck. They were running right where this wreck happened before the pit stop. By staying out, they end up missing this wreck, and they're not part of it. And they're able to keep that track position and presumably kind of get an advantage on all these guys who just got damage.
Man, I would be surprised if that 33 does not have a meatball flag after that.
80 car 1 are both now a lap down. Everybody else has managed to stay on the lead lap. Dewar, Fortner, Hosak did get some damage in this. That might have been a 20 car short track wreck.
Well, I mean, this is pretty common for a track that there's a wall to the inside and outside. I mean, Dusty Tour here is a good point of that. I mean, where do you go?
Oh, Josh Clark was involved in it. We didn't mention his name before. Yeah, just nowhere to go. And, you know, it's one of those, it's a product of the short track racing is once somebody makes a mistake on one of the straightaways and blocks it up, everyone running that rear brake bias, they're just going to slide into the wreck, just like this, right there.
And you were wondering, why stay out? You're going to be at such a disadvantage. All those guys are going to have fresh tires because you were ahead of this.
Yep,
we
exactly.
saw that at Gateway, huge wreck with drivers that took on tires. The guys that stayed out, you know, they will cycle back eventually, but they are potentially also ahead of a race-altering crash, and that's all you can call this, is a race-altering crash, because when it affects 20 cars on track, that's a race-altering crash.
Indeed. They stack them up, and we've had enough replays to not be able to run and pay the bills, so we'll wait for that next caution, potentially do it there.
Yeah, we need a single car spin, so that way we don't have to talk about it. Who will that be? We're about to.
Yeah, I only went through half of the cars
might
involved.
Be the leader. Oh no! I think he's going to lose it to Tyler Fode this time. He absolutely needs to figure out what gearing is going to work for him, because that gear he tries out on the starts nearly got him spun around, and all that does is it stacks up the field behind him. Tyler Fode's still trying to get that outside lane work. We have not yet seen a pass for the lead yet tonight. It may be coming here shortly. Tyler Fode still did not get it at the line. It was Garrison Hogan by 2/100ths of a second there.
Yeah, and behind Fode is a rather hungry Chad Frankenfield with fresh tires, and he's certainly going to be aggressive. We know he might send a Chad wide here at any point, so I'd be on the lookout for that 15 car, especially now that he's gotten to the bottom.
Yeah, you know what's coming. If you're Tyler Fode, you know what's coming.
Yeah,
the
Fode's
question
able
is
to
when.
Yeah, and Fode's able to kind of back out of it, and I try to keep that 40 car as clean as possible, make these guys run a few more laps, hope for maybe a 10, 15, 20 lap run here, and then come down, strap 4 fresh ones on the 40 and see if you can't work your way back up.
There's still 37 cars on track, so needless to say, that big wreck may look really bad. It really did not affect the outcome of that many people, as there are still a lot of them on track here, as looks like Chad Frankenfield is going to be looking to try to be the second leader here tonight before too long.
Yeah, Chad's all over the back bumper of Garrison Hogan. Gave him the bumper there in turn 2, but he got that 15 car a little squirrely, and Chad's going to have to hold off trying to pass the 36 one more time.
Oh, Chase Gabriel, I just saw him back there get really sideways, try to make a dive bomb 3 wide. Oh boy, that was really close back there. He was trying to get around the 54 of Smith and nearly spun around. He was on the apron trying to get around him there. So drivers back there trying to make moves. Moves being made up front here. Chad Frankenfield looks like he is going to have the power here and be able to make the move and take the lead here on lap 76.
Chad Frankenfield to the race lead, and with fresh tires, if this race stays green for any length of time, he's going to drive away from that Garrison Hogan, Tyler Fode, Ryan Gable trio. David Tooker's the first car on fresh tires, and he's just now getting to Ryan Gable.
Yeah, Chad Frankenfield did a masterful job there of working through the field relatively clean here, and really masterful job of being able to finally get himself out front again, trying to break that winless streak that he's been on in the Cup Series, as David Tooker gives the bumper to Tyler Fode there coming out around turn 2.
David Tooker certainly a little bit impatient, I think. I think it's go time. He knows that 40 car is parking it on the bottom of the racetrack, saying, "Tooker, you got to go around me on the outside." But I don't think Tooker's going to be quite that patient. Dives to the inside here, entering turn number 1, and I think he'll push the 40 and the 01. The Lake Norman Chevys, they're heading to the back on the older tires.
Yeah, I think we're finally seeing the tires really start to fall off on these guys, as they have lost all grip. They cannot keep it down on the racetrack when they slide up out of the preferred groove. They continue to slide, and that's what we're seeing even with Vincent Isabella back there, almost slapping the wall out of turn 4. They are all having a hard time with trying to keep the car underneath them and keep them on the track.
Yep, Cutlip's falling back, Tate Lytle's falling back. Everybody's kind of kicked up to the high side that has the older tires now, and you know, they're hoping for that quicker caution, right? They want one coming soon. We've run enough laps. I think they're ready to strap some new ones on. We'll see if you know, it comes soon, because they're pretty clean right now, and one of those cars on the older tires might be the caution.
Well, now Chad Frankenfield does have guys behind him, but look how big of a lead, being that front runner there, being able to get past those slower cars in a quick manner, got himself to a 1.4 second lead over David Tooker. Now the drivers right behind him, the next 3 positions, all on similar tires. Oh, the 56! Wow, what a save back there. We're going to have to take a look at that. That was unbelievable by Tate Lytle.
Tate's saving it. He's racing with Sonny D, and I think he might have. It might just have been. Was there contact between him and Ryan Schultz here?
I think so. I think he got ran over. And
Yep,
he
right
got,
there.
He got hit, and then he was heading right at the wall. Wow. Boy, that was a close one for Tate Lytle. That could have ended real badly for him.
Yep, the 56 remains straight, remains good. Obviously, not great in the bracket as his bracket counterpart running second right now.
A lot can change still. Again, he's going to have the chance to be able to take on tires, but we keep saying that, and yet we're still going on to a long green flag run, which is preferred for those guys that have those tires right now, as those guys with those older tires are going to continue to fall down the track.
Yeah, if the tires equal out, I think their descent will slow a little bit, right? We've seen Garrison Hogan kind of equal out here at 9th. Isabella's not too far behind Hogan. Fode's ahead of Hogan still. So, some of these guys have been able to manage. In fact, Gable and Hogan are side by side right now. I guess that's Cabry and Gable side by side right in front of Garrison Hogan. So all tires have been able to hold on. They just aren't as quick, and they're kind of reliant on the difficulty of passing to hold that track position, as opposed to genuinely being fast, like we've seen with Frankenfield, Zucker, Terrell.
Big wreck going to be happening here. Oh,
yeah. Brett Jones is the one who.
How that was not a big wreck. I don't.
Rasmus now wrecking on the front straightaway. Caution's got to come out.
I don't know how there wasn't a caution.
Yep,
Vincent Isabella was completely around. I think Johnny Thomas is around on the front straightaway. That was a wreck that took a whole straightaway.
There's going to be some tempers after this one, I think, and I think the tempers are going to be directed at race control, and maybe this 4-car who gets into another one. He got Tay Lytle earlier. Now he's going to get Vincent Isabella, and he's not there. He's coming from way far back to knock into this 3-car.
Off the racetrack.
If I didn't know better, I'd say he was attempting to run into this 3-car, but I don't think so.
Boy.
I think he knows the 3 was on old tires, but
I mean, how that did not become a bigger incident, it's unbelievable.
And then Johnny Thomas, Jesse Racimus, Ethan Stanley. I couldn't tell who Johnny hit. It might have been Josh Clark. And everybody's, all the guys who are on old tires are coming down pit road now, obviously. Justin Wadsworth's down pit road. Chad's down pit road. So some stayed out, though. Matthew Weeks stayed out.
What happened here?
Yeah, so Racimus came back up on the track and got into the 92, and it clipped the 91, spun him out. Josh Clark gets involved in it.
Gosh, Johnny Thomas has no luck.
No, he doesn't.
No luck.
I'm hearing that was a manual yellow, too.
Yeah, it was a manual yellow.
How was that not a caution?
Well, let's take our chance to step aside here and pay some bills with one of our other ads here. I think this is the best chance we're gonna get for one ad. So we'll see. We'll stay tuned. We'll see you here in a little bit.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we're back here, folks. Lap 90. We have a lot of things to talk about and very little time to do so. Chad Frankenfield is the first guy off the pit road. First guy with tires decided to come back down pit road again to get some more tires. Going to be running in that 8th position. We only had 3 sets of tires, I believe, here tonight. So that's going to really hamper. Oh, is it 6?
It is 6.
1 on the car and 5 in the pit.
5 in the pits.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have to worry about tires tonight. I thought it was going to be 3, to be honest with you. 6 is, a lot more than I expected. So, needless to say, they got plenty of tires in the pits. So, Chad Frankenfield decides to pop some ones on right there. You see now Matthew Weeks going to be starting in 2nd. The guy with no front bumper, Gavin Hibbs, is... I told you, what did I say earlier on? You could be running without a front bumper and still be able to find your way up to the front. And Gavin Hibbs is proving that right now, running in that 2nd position without a front bumper for the majority of this race. As looks like... Chad Frankenfield's going to be starting in the 8th position, Tooker 9th, and Ethan Burrell. They're all going to have to try to find ways back up through the front once again here.
Yep, you got Wadsworth, Fode, Gable, and Cabry all right behind that group of 3 that you just mentioned. And those are the guys on fresh tires. We've got a pair of Shift Esports teammates on the bottom. We'll have a pair of Pro Edge Toyotas up top with Weeks and Clark, and then Hibbs and McIntosh. Josh Personet's up here in 5th. Mark Urbilis is up here in 6th. Wyatt Canadle's in 7th. Those guys are the old tire group, and there may be some chaos here.
If we haven't already had chaos, there may be some more chaos on the way here. If you liked your chaos with a little bit of spiciness, well, we got plenty of that. So the pace car will be coming back down. Matthew Weeks going to be timing it with Clark to a T.
My.
And was that Rebellis there almost losing it on that start?
Urbilis just pulled to the top, and Chad went to go 3 wide, but he knew he'd get a penalty for doing that. I think Urbilis was trying to let Chad by, but can't do that on the restart. So, I don't know. 99's way up the track here. I think he's going to clear way for some of these guys. And now Chad underneath Josh Personet. Caution's already out.
Jesse Racimus, maybe?
Yeah.
I think it was Brent Jones.
No,
I don't know. Was it Racimus?
We might be able to run some ads. This one looked like might be a single car incident.
Wouldn't that be nice? We haven't had one of those in a little bit.
3 wide.
Johnny,
Johnny,
no. 70 car into the wall. I think he's
shortens
going
it
to
up just a little bit.
Johnny wanted us to be able to do the right read for belly up.
Well, while you're seeing the replay, go ahead and give us the readout here, Dave, if you got the chance.
I do. So Belly Up Sports is our series sponsor. The internet sports bar, sports commentary via podcasts, forums, and articles on topics ranging to nearly every sport. It's not your usual sports site. Check them out on X or at bellyupsports.com. Our premier sponsors, Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Constraints catalyze creativity. We help businesses punch above their weight class. And finally, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Worldwide Technology Raceway is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. It features a 1.25-mile track that hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and the NTT IndyCar Series. It has a 2-mile infield road course used by Trans Am, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America, a quarter-mile NHRA drag strip that hosts the Midwest Nationals event, and the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. That's all of them.
We appreciate that, Dave. Well, we're getting to the halfway point here. Let's get some halfway predictions here. Who do you think is set up in the best position to get this win here tonight, David?
You would think one of these guys on fresh tires, but I'm gonna say Chad Frankenfield's in the best spot. But if I had to pick somebody, I like the way David Tooker's been running in that 19 car. He's been in that top 3 or 4 of the fresh tire guys. He's a little bit further back this time. I think he got caught up in some of the lap traffic, but I trust David Tooker to come in here and I think maybe try to grab a win. He's missed a race or two this season, a little bit further down in points, and one of those guys that hasn't won yet that I think will here before the regular season is up.
I'm going to go with the guy that's in the top 10 here, started dead last, got the pole, been the fastest guy, and has the cleanest car. That's going to be Chase Cabry. I'm going to go with Chase Cabry here. I think he's setting it up perfectly. He's been able to work his way through the field. No one has any animosity towards him, and I think he's saving it here for a late race run to be able to get it over Chad Frankenfield. That's my shot.
funny, and I think you've got Ethan Burrell, Tyler Fode, a couple of guys that are hungry, fast, always going to be up near the front. And then Matthew Weeks is on the alternate strategy right now with the track position and the race lead. So a lot of possibilities, I think, still. And are we awarding a point at halfway for just the leader? There you go. So Matt, that's one of the big reasons. Obviously, points leader Matthew Weeks, he'd love to go ahead and grab this halfway point in a couple of laps.
Yeah, it looks like he should be able to wrap that up here with this restart as long as he has a clean getaway here, which when he's compared to the guy's vehicle next to him, you'd have to believe he's going to have some kind of advantage here on the start, as we're going to be getting going here just about to the halfway point, folks, as Matthew Weeks, our point leader, is going to lead it here at the start of this race, going to be able to get himself and his teammate there clear for that second position, but that also allows Chad Frankenfield to have some clean air in front of him, and he's going to be able to work his way. Ooh, 3 wide there. That was a little sketchy.
Here comes Aggressive Eagle Motorsports down at the bottom. Hunter Smith just body slammed Wyatt Canadal.
That's not true. That's not Aggressive Eagle. That's Little Eagle.
Sorry. Well, they're Little Eagle, but they're aggressive tonight. So you're back.
It's my track. That's my team. Can't steal my team name now.
Yeah, they've taken over.
No, they haven't.
They're Little Aggressive Eagles.
Yep, they're Little Aggressive.
I'm fine. They can be a Little Aggressive Eagle. I'm
Matthew Weeks does clinch the halfway point for leading as the points leader. Definitely something he's looking for in these races to set himself up at a run for the championship. So with 2, full distance crown jewel race wins to his name so far this season and a bunch of laps led, Matthew Weeks certainly cementing himself as one of the championship favorites here early in the season.
Oh boy, there's some really close 3 wide racing all through the field here still. They haven't learned a bit here as we're a little over halfway and still moves being made that are questionable at best. As right now it looks like Chad Frankenfield is up to that second position and very, very quickly starting to catch up to the leader here. As it looks like, Chad, what happened to Chad?
He went off the track.
He's blinking.
I think he just went a lap down. He did not get registered for that lap. Oh,
nope, he's back.
Oh, he's going to turn him around in front of the field.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And it all goes sour for Chad right after we didn't pick him, too. Man. It came from the blinking, too, didn't it? Yeah, he had slowed down, it looks like.
No, he got loose. He got loose coming out of the turn. He set himself in that position.
Wow.
He got loose trying to catch up to Matthew Weeks and shot himself. If you heard that, folks, that was a shot in the foot that Chad Frankenfield just did.
And then in front of this, Garrison Hogan way loose, way out of the groove, and then Jonathan Cutlip loses it.
I mean,
yeah, that kind of just happened in front of Chad.
Immediately puts himself in the worst position and punished really hard by the elite racing gods there as man.
Gable, Cutlip, Chris Wright gonna be the ones that get the worst of this incident. Garrison Hogan just about got sucked into this too.
A lap before this had been he put himself in the best position, and then the lap later put himself in the worst position.
Mm-hmm. Wadsworth's going to do a really good job getting through this without much damage. And then Chris Wright, nowhere to go. I mean, Rucker made it through right in front of him.
Gavel's on a little bit of a probation.
I don't know.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, he is on probation, is Gavel, but I don't believe this one's going to be on him.
Can we go to another view there with that wreck with Gavel and
because they're wrecking in front of him.
Yeah, you've already got contact there with Cutlip.
You got contact, but the contact didn't come until a little later.
That's not what spun out the 5.
That's not what spun out. It was the second hit that spun out.
Oh, there was another hit there. Well,
I don't know. That's Gavel. I'm sorry.
If the 0, he might have to go back to China.
Again, if the first contact would have caused him to go around, I sign off on that. But you see him bumping him, let off. You see a guy going up the racetrack there. Why get onto it again? Like I put that on Gavel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it might just be, and he can't really afford any more tallies. That will be continued penalties towards the 0-1. So if race control does put this on him, that would be pretty bad for the COTA winners' chances at making the playoffs, because I think once you get to a certain number, you do get suspended.
And he did not need this. He needed a clean race, to be honest, and what a rough track to come to try to have that happen after he got a 30-point penalty last week. I mean, probably one of the biggest points penalties I've seen, other than just being I mean, even if they just said he didn't get any points for the race, he would have been better off than getting the 30-point penalty that he did get, and it was a 30-point penalty against his points. You can't even take that off if he doesn't even count that race. So,
right. See, and Schold is the other one involved in this one.
Little legal team meeting.
Right at him.
Yep, and he was only back there because he had kind of sent it a couple of wrecks ago and gotten involved in something and ended up in the back. So, we see how quickly, it's kind of punishing to be in the back of the field here. You really want to stay up in the front.
Well, this once again changes the viewpoint of how things are going to go tonight. Matthew Weeks now once again in a really good position in front of all the wrecks. Green flag is back out. He's going to be able to lead that outside lane, and did not time it very well with his teammate there of Clark. Clark is going to be able to slot in. Oh, but he's going to be jumping right in front of the guy I just stated that he's set himself up.
Contact.
No. Teammates, or old teammates, almost got into contact there. We're not done, folks.
Here comes Cody.
Tyler Fody throws it in there.
Oh, he just wrecked Clark.
No.
Almost did.
What is Pro Edge on tonight, or Lake Norman on tonight? They're
hardly the only team sending it in, and caution does wave. I've seen that exact move by at least 4 or 5 different groups, and it has resulted in about the same thing every time.
Yeah, but that was, oh boy.
Vandermarl slower on the apron, Hatchie into him a little bit. And this was a result of that contact up ahead. Vandermarl loose.
Hey.
And this is the behind. You see Clark sideways, Burrell checked up.
To be fair, if we go up there, Vandermarl there.
Oh, Dusty.
Oh, Dusty.
Oh, and there goes Chad again.
Again, Chad can't get out of it.
Yeah, Fortner involved. Fortner almost goes upside down.
What in the world? We'll have to go back and see that. That was a little. Can you rewind it just a little bit from right there, Dave? Thank you. You're gonna see they're checking up for the wreck in front. Dusty checks up, and Vandermerl got into him from there. I don't really put that on Vandermerl, nor do I put that on Dusty.
Yeah,
Well,
everything way up there didn't cause anything, right?
No, the Fody Clark incident caused a big checkup, but that doesn't cause the incident. The incident is when coming off a 2, Dewar goes all the way to the apron and then cuts it back across the track in front of traffic.
We did hear from a lot of people that was super easy to do in these cars right now. Yeah. That you could not turn right for any instance. I think Dusty tried and turn it right to not hit that inside wall and gassed it, and it just went back up. And then let's go ahead and see what happened to oh boy, 26. Oh, that was an impressive if he was going for a trick move.
Yep. 32 gets the tally, and I would agree with that. Gerald, you want to bring in our the belly up, the driver of the belly up sports car that's going to be out of the race here, Chris Wright?
Yeah, I think he's done. So let's go ahead and see if we can bring him up in here and get his viewpoint of how this race has gone so far. Hey, Chris, not exactly what you were hoping for tonight, nor did anybody hope for this type of action to happen. What's going on out there? Is it just aggressive driving, or from your viewpoint, are you kind of just happy to be out of it at this point?
Well, you're never happy to be out of it, but man, I thought we were pretty decent. We had just pitted there. It just, I don't know. It's the same guys that cause these wrecks every week, and it gets innocent people caught up in it. You know, we've wrecked about every race this year, and it's just been super frustrating to deal with. And I don't know. It was ruled a racing deal on the racetrack, but looking at the replay, it's hard for me to see that as a racing deal when the 01 never lifted off of Cutlip's right rear or left rear.
Well, we will be talking more about that in the podcast, so you can always let your feelings be known there as well tomorrow as we go back through the review of this race. But overall, what's the handling out there on the track? Is the handling contributing at all to this aggression that we're seeing on track?
No, it's all these idiots out here. That's what it is. The car drives fine. Actually, it drives great, way better than I thought. There's nothing wrong with the setup. It's just these guys out here have no patience, zero clue to take care of it. It's a little bit ridiculous that we can't put on any better of a show than this. I know this is Belly Up's first race. I believe that they've broadcasted on their channel, so I appreciate everything that's Belly Up Belly Up's doing, chairgating on the car. I was looking forward to having a good run tonight. I thought we were going to be pretty solid. Just unfortunate that these guys out here cause all these wrecks and they get away from them without any problems, but it is what it is.
David, did you have any questions for Chris here as we get going green on track?
Oh, Garrison's gonna wreck. Yeah. Well, no, not really, Chris. We know we've talked to you about your luck, and we're hoping for better luck next week, huh, bud?
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for doing the broadcast, everybody here, Dave and David. You guys do awesome. Belly Up, appreciate them coming aboard, chairgating. Can't wait to eventually turn this luck around and get to running pretty good.
Well, we wish the best for you, Chris, as you get to now sit in the sidelines and get to see the spectacle that is taking place on track. And there is a lot of spectacles going on right now as we're seeing some very hard racing. I think I said it before, blood in the water. I think there's blood definitely in the water right now as everyone is acting like hungry piranhas as they're trying to make moves that just aren't working right now, I don't think, David.
No, not really. I will note, though, Chase Cabrey has finally gotten up to second place. He's got the freshest tires of anybody. Tyler, Fody, and Burrell.
Personette into the wall, comes down the racetrack. Oh, I think everyone missed it. I don't know how. He got sent going into the turn there.
Yeah, that's been.
I think that's gonna be day done for the 84 here.
Was he involved in another one? I think he was. And
yeah, Wyatt Canado got into the back of somebody earlier and did it again here, spun him around.
That's a pretty pure misjudgment right there. Definitely a mistake, but
yeah, but that takes out Personette, who is having
Gable
a decent run.
There was a whole track down below you.
Yeah,
made it through. Matthew Weeks pitting, Gavin Hibbs pitting, Chase Cabrey, Tyler Fody, Ethan Burrell stay out. So Matthew Weeks now going to be down in the field. That's your points leader. He could potentially be the victim of another one of these wrecks, and he'll have to really utilize some patience to try to get up through here. And if I had to wager, I think Chase Cabrey, Tyler Fody, Ethan Burrell, I think they're done pitting. They may not pit again for the rest of this race.
I saw Matthew Weeks' text earlier in the day and everything. He was not looking forward to coming here for situations like this. He did not like the unpredictability of this type of racing and putting his race at risk. But ultimately, he's done a really good job here. That points leader has of just kind of being smart, knowing that he doesn't need to really go for wins. In his strategy, there really does not put him in a position to win, but it puts him in a position to avoid all the chaos behind him. But for the first time tonight, after starting first, but qualifying first and starting at the back and starting on pit road, given that's Chase Cabrey now finds himself out front, and I have to think that this is kind of like the nail in the coffin for the rest of the field. He allowed him to be able to get up to the front. He didn't get involved, I don't think, in a single caution here tonight. He has, let me see, I don't think he has an X here tonight either. He has one X. He has a 1X for driving through the grass, I think. When I saw him trying to make a move and dive into the bottom. So, yeah, I mean, for the guy that just started up here, racing the cleanest out of all the other competitors here tonight.
He sure is, and Cabrey, technically a rookie, but obviously an experienced racer, showing that off tonight. And he's come in and raced well with Fody and Burrell and the other guys on Mondays and also on Sundays, like Gerald mentioned with Gerald and Tate and some of the other guys who've run on Sundays. And he's certainly shown his worth. And right now, that car's clean. He's got fresh tires. He's in a really good spot, I think, to be able to capitalize and put on a good run. And Gerald, wasn't he your pick? I think there at halfway. I think you picked this 39 car.
Man, I am really good. I wish I could make money off of doing predictions for Elite, because I have to say I'm pretty good about predicting how things turn out in this series. And Chase Cabrey, the inevitable was going to happen if he didn't get involved in something. Just too consistent out there for sure. And Definitely doesn't make a mistake too often in the truck series that I see. So maybe he hopes to not do trucks very longer and focuses on the Cup car. That's my hope. So that way I can win maybe one or twice in the truck series here this season. So go out there and do your best, Chase, and maybe really fall in love with the Cup series here, as he's going to restart from the bottom lane here. Green flag is back out. He's going to have Tyler Fody to his outside, and last week winner Ethan Burrell directly to the back of him. So he's got some tough competition right now, right behind him on track.
Ethan Burrell takes over second from Tyler Fody, and now Burrell going to be hunting down the race lead for the first time tonight. Garrison Hogan settles into fourth, and then the battle for fifth is between Wadsworth and Hunter Smith, and both of them have been in the top 5 all night long. Really impressive run by both drivers there, Smith and Wadsworth. So, a couple of Fords having a good run tonight.
Well, that should have been a wreck back there. It did not get called for it. Tate Lytle almost absolutely got destroyed, and Matthew Weeks came to a stop because he thought there was going to be a huge pileup, and he lost a ton of position. I think he's almost dead last of the drivers on the lead lap. So, yeah, Matthew Weeks thought there was going to be something bigger from that and dropped really far. So, good to see that we're staying green up here, though.
They're going to wreck right here. We moved back to Weeks, but it's Hunter Smith, Garrison Hogan. They're going to wreck. Yep, Rawls, Johnny Thomas. That's where the wreck's going to happen right there.
I think Sonny D sent somebody. And once again, I think he almost did it again with Seth Rawls. Those two did not get along. That was very sketchy. Oh, boy.
25 car's been a little on edge on braking, and I think that's concerning some of his competitors. Caution's out from behind.
Oh, no, it's Garrison
Hogan.
Garrison Hogan around, I think.
That would either be due to the 6 or the 10 car. I'm not sure which one. I think it might be the 6. It'll be Justin Wadsworth, who's been up front all night.
That's not just.
You know what? Yeah, I was going to say, you know what? Well,
who's there?
Oh boy, yeah. I mean, and it's the half spin. How did this get a caution? But then when Brett Jones was sitting sideways on the track earlier, that didn't generate a caution.
Can we go back and see Tate or the 64 and the 25 incident, because they are talking a lot of garbage on the racetrack, yelling at each other, as you can't hear it at home, folks, but we can see exactly what ended up happening there. Oh boy. Yeah.
They were. Yeah. I think Rucker's gonna.
Rucker, yeah, just sent him high up the racetrack. Wow, really good job of saving it by the 25 did, at least.
I think Rawls got out of it a little bit early, but when it's Rucker behind you, you do have to drive it into the corner a little bit harder. It's kind of your responsibility to know who's around you in that case. And
I mean, at least Rucker's making it plainly obvious. He's got the brightest car on track. It's kind of like one of the snakes that is really colorful, and you're like, oh, that's a really colorful snake. It's probably poisonous. Or the dart frog. Oh, that's very pretty. Stay away from it.
Exactly. And look, the way we've seen it tonight, right? I mean, we just saw it with Garrison Hogan. It's real easy to knock into somebody and spin them out, even if maybe your intention isn't necessarily that. And it looks like we're calling that a spell spin. So, okay. We're seeing that not a whole lot of contact is resulting in some of these slides, and it's a little bit of that misjudgment, right? You're entering a slow corner. You have to get hard on the brakes a lot of times, and we saw it with Wyatt Knadel and Casey Hatch in the last one. I mean, you just could barely misjudge the distance to that car in front of you, and all of a sudden they're spinning around and you're getting the tally, and potentially your second of the day where you're getting sent to pit road.
Yeah, we're already seeing some huge incident points being collected here, already into the 20s for a lot of these guys, and that's a lot. That's a lot. These tally points are going to continue to go up here before it's too far gone. We're not even 3/4 of the way through this event, and already seeing a ton of situations on track, and I think it just built upon each other. I think when you get sent or you get put in a bad position, you lose that little bit of forgiveness, and you start doing it to the next guy, and then he does it to the next guy, and before you know it, you've got a track full of people that are not going to give each other any room. And I think we're we're at that point right now. The dominoes are proceeding to fall, as you will.
Yeah, they are, and we'll see if we can get a green flag run, right? Obviously, it's doubtful at this point because, like Gerald just said, they're going to give each other less and less room, less and less space, give less and less breaks on these corner entry opportunities to pass, and that's going to result in more and more contact. But we've already had so much contact. We've had 12 cautions in this one, so can it get more chaotic? Probably not, but they're going to try.
Is it going to make my night really long, having to go back and record some of this for the podcast? Absolutely. As we're going to go back green here, Chase Cabry going to lead off on that bottom lane. Gets a really, really good start there. Gets out to a couple car length, 3 car length lead. Wow, going into the turn. That's going to set up a real good side-by-side battle for that second position.
Second,
three wide.
That
Oh,
was
he saw the
risky.
same thing I did. Yeah, that was bad.
Kosak checked up, let him in, but that caused a stack up that Goody had to let go. Everything does stay green, and yeah, it does go back to the 6 car, and that's what I felt like originally, so race control has amended the tally of the last caution, and Sonny D and Seth Rawls are side by side again. Just might want to keep an eye on those two.
Oh boy, yeah, there's a lot of bumping and banging back there right now, folks. There's a lot of guys thinking that they should be higher up and push each other
Sonny
in the
D.
wall.
Sonny D
Oh,
still
no.
going after it. All right, Rucker into Hogan, still battling for it. We've seen Hogan in the top 5, leading laps tonight. Rucker's kind of been everywhere else. Stanley now underneath Rucker. In front of them, and Delicato is going after that 4th spot. Gavin Hibbs in the wall.
Yeah, I think he got sent by Goody, actually, in the middle of the turn. Sent him up the racetrack, and he did a death crawl, able to keep it going, though, somehow. So, good job by him to be able to save that already beaten up car there. As, yeah, right now, they're fighting for position every spot they get.
Matthew Weeks, the one maybe charging him through here, but Weeks pretty clearly understanding why he didn't need to, why that pit strategy didn't work out quite so well for him, but I think Weeks would be very happy with the top 15 and a half win.
Yeah, Weeks is just hoping that he gets it to the end. I'm watching him drive very tentatively out there on track right now as he's watching his teammate in the 56 driving a little bit more aggressive than him. He's been very aggressive with some of his moves right now, trying to see if he can get around that 16 of Jordan Owens.
Up front, Ethan Burrell got back around Tyler Fode and has chased down Chase Cabry. So now the question is, can Ethan Burrell show some muscle and some strength to go back-to-back here in the Belly Up Cup Series? It'd be interesting. We haven't had a repeat winner at all this season, and Ethan Burrell certainly showing some muscle here in that 37 car. They have pulled away significantly from Tyler Fode. It's almost a second back to 3rd place, and there's the caution.
Caution is out. Jordan Owens around, and I have a feeling I know who is behind him. Oh no.
We just mentioned that. Let's see, maybe Owens got loose coming off the corner to give some benefit of the doubt to the 56. But that's not what that was.
I do think that maybe the 16 lifted, but Tate Lytle,
He might not have had enough time to react, but you're that close to another car, and the car's already sketchy coming off the corner.
yeah, he lifted.
He did. See if anybody. I don't believe that Chase Cabry's down pit road. Tyler Fode's staying out. Hunter Smith staying out.
Yeah, it's a split decision right now.
I bet Matthew Weeks is going to stay out.
Tate Lytle stays out. Matthew Weeks stays out.
How about that?
Yes.
Will be the last time that these guys come down pit road, I believe.
I'm actually seeing a lot of guys in the back staying out right here because it was not that long ago for some of these guys to come down pit road. So I think this is going to put Chase Cabry probably outside the top 10. Easily outside the top 10.
Same for Ethan Burrell. Yeah, Nick and Delicato is going to be the first one off pit road.
2 tires. Yeah, 2 tires.
Seth Rawls off pit road, then Cabry and Burrell.
I don't think Rawls passed Cabry.
First pit stall advantage there for Chase Cabry. Should we run another ad here, try to get that in before the close of this race?
Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that one more time here, folks.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
You didn't miss anything, folks. We're just about getting ready here to line them back up. We're almost to that 3/4 mark of the race here. As you can expect, these drivers are probably taking one last deep breath, maybe tighten the belts one more time, maybe tying the shoelaces, because here they go. They're gonna have a 50-lap run here, essentially, to go about determining where they're going to finish here tonight, and most of those positions will not be found out until they cross that line. As you can expect, with all the aggression that's amped up here, I don't think we're quite done with the aggression being displayed on track here, as it is going to be Tyler Fode out front, Ethan Smith in second, Ethan Stanley third, Tate Lytle fourth, Matthew Weeks with relatively fresh tires going to be starting in the fifth. And then I believe Chase Cabry is all the way back in what position here?
13th.
13th.
Yeah.
Not the best spot you would want to be in. I do believe your bet is made for all these guys. I don't see anybody pitting unless if they're really far back in the field or if it's for a certain situation. I don't think any of these guys up here at the front plan on pitting again tonight.
And Tyler Fode's staying out. He's been running a couple of these kind of pit strategies, and what Tyler Fode is hoping for is a caution fest the rest of the way. We don't run very many green flag laps. What Chase Cabry is hoping for is a 50-lap run to the end, because at that point I believe he'll just win the race. So, different strategies, different hopes, but I think Tyler Fode's might have a little bit more likelihood of coming true.
Oh, the pace car is down. It's going to be going back over to Tyler Fode at the front. Green flag is out. Ooh, big check up on that outside lane. That's going to stack it up just a little bit here, as drivers are all trying to shoot down to the bottom if they can get there.
Chase Cabry already on the attack underneath Gavin Hibbs, and he does get around Nick Indelicato, who was the car that took 2 tires. Now Hibbs cuts to the bottom. He'll try to go 3 wide. It winds up being 2 wide battle with Josh Clark. And up front, it's the Lake Norman duo of Tyler Fode and Ethan Stanley that they have the lead right in front of Matthew Weeks, and then it's Tate Lytle going after Hunter Smith. Colin Copa sideways in front of the field. Oh, Chase Cabry and Burrell.
Oh, they're still hitting each other. How are they still green? Oh, boy. People are not letting off the throttle. I just saw about 10 cars that just got body slammed from the car behind them. Oh, they're still not done. Oh, boy. Folks, that was as close as you can get a wreck without actually causing one. Oh, Sonny D! Oh, boy!
Caution is out.
Your rookie leader there.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Big damage. Sonny D involved.
I think this is a replay of last week for Sonny D here.
Little bit of contact there from the 6, and I think that might be his second tally of the night, and then here he's going to come out the racetrack and take out the 6 car anyway.
It looked exactly like what happened at Gateway for Rucker, going through the grass and then coming back up the racetrack.
And Brent Jones is going to get involved in this one, and he's been kind of the innocent victim in a number of these incidents so far tonight. And there's Rucker, and there's no saving that. Man. Comes back up the track and just clobbers the 6 car.
Oh boy. That was, oh man. I know we have some videos on replay, and I do want to show them before it's all said and done. We really should have just had a video of Rucker's wreck from last week, because that was identical.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, and Brent's made the call to retire the 89 car. And I think Wadsworth may be not far behind. That car took a shot.
That might be a second tally too, so he'd be out regardless.
Yep, that would be it for the 6 car, and it's on the straightaway. I have a hard time believing he wouldn't be listed at fault, but we'll see what race control has to say.
Oh, you know what? We had a driver video too. We forgot to play because Jeff Green wasn't here.
Play it
USA
for him.
Speedway. I've
There you go.
never raced there in real life, but raced a couple times on iRacing. Being a short track, it's tight. More than likely a one groove racetrack to hit the bottom every lap is the main thing. Getting a good qualifying effort, I think, will put you in front of the chaos for short tracks, and if you can, stay around the top 5, it seems like it's easier to keep all 4 fenders on the car and be able to have something at the end to go after them. So I think that's would be my focus, is just to get a good qualifying run and keep the fenders on it, and hopefully we can be around close to the front and have a chance to win.
We always appreciate Jeff Green's experience, and that's what he is experience personified. That's Jeff Green there, the real-life Xfinity driver champion. And, yeah, I mean, as far as everything on track here, there's a lot of action. It is not done here, folks. There's a lot to still have to determine here, but we just saw there pretty much what to expect. We're going to be seeing a lot of drivers send it in on each other. I don't think we're done with that yet. We still have 20 or 31 cars still on the lead lap. That did knock a couple of them out. But did Race Control have an announcement here yet as far as what their determination was? There you go.
There it is. Yep.
And that is night over for the number 6, our rookie leader in the rookie standings. Looks like this time around, Fody is going to take the outside, though.
It's going to try the teammate restart where Stanley gives him just a second, and then Fody will cut down in front of him. And certainly, I'll note that Lake Norman has attempted this in the past and wound up wrecking both of their lead cars. So, just so you know, that was at Martinsville a few years ago when I was in the booth, and Gable and Damian Leininger wrecked each other out of the lead for that one. So,
well, they're going to hope that some of that has changed here tonight. Tyler Fody's going to be taking off on the outside lane. Wow, he stacked him up. It almost like he braked it a little bit there. Tyler Fody, you almost called it right there.
I know.
He just barely cut in front of his teammate there. That's going to cause a little bit of a stack up behind him. Oh, what is Ethan Stanley doing?
Big wreck.
Big wreck in the back there.
Hosak's going to get sideways, but he saves it, the 24 car, with a drift.
Yeah, that was impressive.
You might have to go on board with Michael Hosak. I believe what happened was Ethan Stanley jumped the start and is going to get a black flag. And that's why he went to pit. And I don't know if maybe Ty McIntosh or I guess this is Gavin Hibbs, took his eye off the bottom a little bit and ran the middle with the car up top.
A little bit of net code too.
Hibbs is going to fall back.
I think you're going to see. No, you don't see the 24 in the shot, but yeah, as you called, incredible save by the 24 there.
Yeah, it was, and let's check it out because Hosak sees this wreck happen in advance, gets on the brakes, but there's too much rear brake in it, so he has to slide it. And once he starts sliding it, that car, it's already out of control on him, and he gets it woed up. He doesn't hit the wall. He keeps it off the wall. Might get maybe just a little contact, but nothing egregious. 24 car will continue on. Progress of cars on tires. For note, Nick Indelicato is 6th. Seth Rawls is 9th. The two of them have 2 right side tires. Ethan Burrell is 10th. He is the first car on 4 new tires.
Well, Nick Indelicato is the marbles race champion. So that would be a good chance of him coming up through the field and knocking one in for the marble race.
Now I'm curious. Have the marbles picked the winner yet? Have they gotten it right?
No.
No, not even close. I think the average finishing position for the marbles is like 29th. That's pretty bad if you get marbles. You don't want to be picked by the marbles.
Maybe today is the day. If that's the 95 into the 70, Mr. Race Control, does that mean the 95 was issued the tally?
Good question.
Yeah, I think that might be a typo.
Think so. Just making sure. Jesse Racimus got clobbered for maybe the 6th time tonight, and I don't know that he's been at fault for any of them, but he's been in the wall an awful lot.
You know, ever since he picked that paint scheme that you liked so much, he's had some real bad luck in it.
I might tell him. I might. Yeah, there it is. A little typo by the race control. We're all good. Race control's doing a great job. 15 cautions. There's a lot to keep track of tonight. I might have to tell Jesse Racimus to change the scheme. Maybe we'll have him do the a different flavor of monster on the car. Maybe that's what we'll go for. Try to get him to do the white can or the orange can. One of those.
I don't know what any of those flavors are. I don't drink Monster. The white
There
can.
you go. Yeah,
What is the
they
white
got
can?
the white. Well, the white can tastes like blue Gatorade.
What?
I haven't been drinking Monster in a while, but the white can was the one I always really liked.
As long as
That's
it's
a
not
good one.
any of those. The ones that really look disgusting to me are the coffee ones.
Yeah. Well, he could put the coffee ones on there. It would just look like a horrible car.
No. That just
Would not-
sounds like
Would
you
not
trying
be
to
good
get
on a
over
paint scheme.
hangover. To be honest. That should just be called a hangover drink. That's all it sounds like to me is you need something to help you get to work in the morning. Oh boy. Well, it looks like we're going to be going back green here with 40 laps left to go in this event. Fody is leading it. He's got that. He's already won his bracket challenge against Scott Crump. Drivers to note is going to be Tate Lytle versus David Tooker. That is a still ongoing battle there, as we're going to be getting to the restart line here. Green flag back out, and now it looks like Tyler Fody has a very good restart here. Gets himself well and far in front of Matthew Weeks for that second position.
Yeah, Fody needs quick cautions is what he's going to be looking for. You Tyler Fody fans need to be rooting for, because Weeks has fresher tires, and then the cars behind have even fresher tires than that. So Tyler Fody at a big disadvantage here, and you're seeing it early on in this run. Matthew Weeks already to the back bumper of the 40 car.
Yeah, he's going to try to see if he can make quick work of it. He's got his teammate to play a little bit of blocker behind him, give him
Sure.
some time.
There's the caution.
And the caution.
Oh, they're wrecking again! Gavin Hibbs took...
95. Oh,
Ouch.
hard hit for Gavin Hibbs. I think that
Hibbs-
might be race over for Hibbs. That was right into the wheel.
And that was right after his first EOL or tally of the day, and that likely will be his second tally of the day.
I think he's done regardless here.
Yep, I think so. Dusty got in a little bit, got on the binders just a little bit too much, and still drifting. I don't think
Yeah,
Casey
never
ever
got
touched
cut.
him.
No one touched him, I don't think.
Casey
I don't
never
think
touched
anybody
him.
touched him. I don't think he touched anything.
But I do think that will be Dusty Dewar's second tally of the night, and so the 32 car will be gone from this one as well.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, boy.
Three different incidents happening all at once.
Now,
Jordan
the
Owens
question
gets...
is, which one caused the caution?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you can give a tally to the 99 car, the 32 car, and the 95 car, and call it a day there. Vincent Isabella
I
did a
think that would
marvelous
mean-
job getting through there.
I think that would mean all three of them are gone, to be honest, because I think it's
You are
all three
right.
of their, all three of them already have a tally tonight.
No, it's time. I mean, hey, if you're causing incidents still, we're 40 laps
That
to go,
was
and you're
not the
spinning out
95.
fourth place.
Oh, yeah, that is 95, isn't it? I thought that
Yeah,
said 35. Oh, yeah, now that would be three of them. Wow.
Yeah,
Race
I think
Control's
that's...
going to be making a lot of friends on this call right here. Calling three guys home.
There's Rubilis in the wall. He backs it down the track. Looks like everybody gets by on okay.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Three guys.
Yeah. I don't know if
Three guys-
Rubilis has... I don't know if Rubilis has a tally in this one.
I thought he did.
He might. It might have been really early. We're at 16 cautions, Gerald. I can't remember who's got tallies and who doesn't at this point.
What was that number they set before the race? Nick said 19?
19.
And there he was dodging the wreck was Nick Massey, but he was in here and he asked about how many cautions we were thinking that there would be, and he presented 19 as the over/under. Gerald took the under. I took the over. Dave took the push. Dave's looking pretty smart right now.
Yeah,
3 cautions. That's about
might
what we
be
got
on
time
the-
for.
Yeah, I think Dave is on the money. We do
Does
have
that pay
green
out
light.
if you pick it?
Yeah, you get paid all of what we put in.
All right, I get paid both of your sides.
I didn't put any in.
I get 100% of 0.
Oh, there you go. Oh no, my Chad Frankenfield money. As race control is on the radio having to dish out some punishment here right now, as I hear him on the radio giving a very long speech of all people.
He has a character limit in a little box to type up for the screen, so we'll be interesting to see what he puts up there.
He should just put lot.
He should just put tally and then the 3 numbers that have gotten one, and then move on. Maybe he'll give us a score or something like this, score of the NCAA game or something to enjoy while we see all of our repeated issues tonight. There's the 95, which was expected. Gavin, man, he's had a wild couple of weeks. Remember, he was in the wall the whole entire race in Indianapolis.
And then he got into a lot of wrecks a lot of people got into a lot of wrecks, but he was also one of them at Gateway. And then here tonight, I think a lot of these guys are going to be enjoying a road course next week just to stay off each other.
Go. So Doers left in, green flag's back out. Tyler Fody on the loud pedal, getting a big gap. And again, you Fody fans got to be looking for Tyler Fody to get a quick caution. He's got to have, less than 5 lap runs the rest of the race, I think, in order to win this one.
Now also keep a look at the number 10, 2 tires, the freshest set, is starting to make quick work here. Lido caution is out once again.
Jordan Owens?
It was way in the back.
The way in the back. I think it was near dead last. I think it was.
And again, what Tyler Fody needs, he gets, but Nick and Delicato now up to 3rd. And let's take a look and see what happened here.
You sound like a spoiled X on that when he said that when Tyler Fody needs, he gets. Oh, no. Boy, yeah, Jordan Owens just got loose.
That might be 2 on the 16.
That's
not sure if he already had one.
Wow, Dusty did a great job there.
We might have to go on board with Dusty.
Wow, that was an amazing move by Dusty.
To quote our buddy Zach Evans, who is in the chat on the YouTube side, on the Belly Up Sports TV page, this is indeed one of the pixel car races of all time.
I've started ignoring Zach when he started talking about my bad idea about the tallies. When he started talking about my tally idea being bad. If we had the tally idea right now, we'd probably only have 20 cars on track.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing, though?
That'd probably be a good thing, I'll be honest.
Oh, man. This has been a very crazy race, and there's still 30 laps to go, and with the caution that quick, now my over the 19 is starting to look good.
Yeah, it just depends. It just depends if these guys take a breather. There does come a point where drivers go, you know what, 10th is fine. I just want to finish, and they start just racing like they want to get to the end. So
on that on the previous set of incidents, did they only do something about the 32? That was the only thing I saw. I didn't see anything about the other two.
I think that all they did was on the 95.
No, it was the reverse. 95 got one, 99 got one, but it was the 99's first. He did not have a previous tally, and then 32 didn't get one. It was apparently under caution. So there you go. And Owens is gone. Yeah. So yes, it was apparently under caution per race control. I'm going with what race control says. And right now, maybe the guys that are in the best position for this one, barring just the continuous rash of yellow flags, where Tyler Fody would be in the best position because he has the lead, is Nick and Delicato and Seth Rawls, a pair of Shift Esports teammates. They have 2 right side tires on each car. Rawls has a good bit of damage, and Delicato is fairly clean, and they are 3rd and 5th. If they get 5 or so laps, I think they might have something for Tyler Fody, but they need 5 consecutive laps to pull off a pass, and I don't know if we're going to get that.
You know what would have been great, Dave, if you next to where you have 17 cautions, put a little bit of tracker right there, and you just had how many cars that got parked here tonight, and it would be the car parker.
Are we up to 4 now?
I think we're up to 5.
5.
I think 5. I think 5. It might be 4 or 5, but it's still probably more than I've seen in a race in a long time.
1 lap to go here on the pace car, and we got the Pro Edge guys are all 2, 4, and 6 up on the top of the racetrack, and they're going to have to hold off the fresher tires of Indelicato, Rawls, Ethan Burrell in 8th.
Yeah, I think Nick Indelicato's in the best spot right here, I think. He's got the 2 tires, and it seems to be working really well for him. As the green flag is out, I think he timed it really good here. I think he might get weeks here on the start.
Oh, they're wrecking already!
And on the front stretch. Oh, no. Ethan Stanley. Oh, and the 70 involved again.
No, not Jesse, man. All right, we're going to have to tell Jesse. We got to get out of the monster car, buddy.
I think Ethan Stanley got loose, spun it.
Yeah, he either spun it or he either spun the tires, or he gets hit due to the checkup, and then
yeah, it was a checkup.
Yeah, and then I believe
that was his teammate that got into the back of him too.
Mm-hmm. It was his teammate who doesn't need any more tallies.
Here comes Jesse.
Yep. All right. Jesse wasn't really involved in this one.
He's stuck on him.
Yeah. Oh boy. Caution 18.
Yeah. I think they're probably not going to give anyone a tally on for that one, though.
No, I wouldn't think so. Yeah.
Oh, he got into Chad a little bit there too. Yes, he did.
Chad Frankenfield is 13 laps down in 36th place, in case you were counting at home. But Chad can take at least 1 more spot, as Gavin Hibbs is currently off the track and 2 laps in front of him. Race control has asked for them to please stop wrecking. I can think of one driver who is asking for a continuance of the wrecks, and that's the race leader Tyler Fode on the old tires. He would love for them to keep wrecking.
Well, especially since I think that put Nick Indelicato into that 2nd position. Mm-hmm. Should we play that marble race? I know Dave has it on there of Nick Indelicato winning.
I think now is the time.
I mean, this is Nick Indelicato's chance to do the impossible, and that's to prove the marbles race from the podcast correct for the first time. It has put Jeff Green, he got it at Daytona, finished dead last at Daytona. Dustin Durer finished 2nd to dead last. Last week it was R.C. Anderson, which would say that was the worst race he's ever been a part of and had. And there you see Nick Indelicato winning the marbles race. So needless to say, the majority of people that get the marbles race win, needless to say, do never want to win again. So, Nick Indelicato right now is probably defying the majority of the odds and definitely helping the statistics of the marble race right now.
He is, and there's still 30 laps to go. There's plenty of time for him to get involved in a wreck and prove the marbles right, or prove the marbles wrong rather. But hey, I want to shout out one of the cars in the top 10 at the risk of jinxing them to the moon. Justin Vandermarl was in the pit barrels around lap 50, and he is running 9th, having a really strong race after kind of having to come back from heavy damage. Maybe that 80 car can sneak out a really good run after being maybe down and out in one of those early big wrecks.
I mean, almost everyone's been involved in a wreck, so I mean, just surviving, you have a chance of. And I do feel like we're gonna have one really big wreck just waiting in the wings still. And if you get through that wreck, it's gonna determine if you have a good finish tonight or not. But more than anything, just I'm gonna guess there's gonna be one more at the front of the field here. That's going to be a race altering and potentially determination. I mean, look at Johnny Thomas right there in 11th. I mean, how many times do we say his race was pretty much over tonight and how bad of luck he's had? And he still has a really good shot at top 10. Well, probably one of his better finishes here of the season, potentially. And the green flag is back out on the racetrack. Nick Indelicato on that outside lane. He's going to try to see if he can get it over Matthew Weeks and have enough time to go after our race leader here, Tyler Fode. Wait to see who can come out on top of this race.
Matthew Weeks, that inside preferred lane is enough, and it overcomes the 2 tires. But I think also if Indelicato had to choose where he restarted his next time out, he'd want to restart third.
Yeah, he'd rather be on the bottom. It seems like that third lane, or that third position on that bottom lane does have the preferred spot. As Tate led him right onto the back bumper of that 10 car.
Very Morrow careful. Saw the 80 car sideways. Thought the jinx came true.
No,
There they go, Vincent.
Jonathan Cutlip on the front straightaway turned around.
Oh man. We'll see what happens here. I don't know what would have happened. Think I have an idea.
Oh, and
take a look.
Dustin Dewar around too on the in the turn.
This is a couple of teammates right here. Let's see if Vincent maybe got loose coming out of 4.
I do think he got loose.
Yep, that's what happened. And then 5 car had nowhere to go. The 3 car's already been damaged a couple of times, and Vincent had worked hard to get it back on the lead lap. Unfortunately,
Dewar? Oh man, he got turned on the front straightaway.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Who at fault for this one? Yep. So this is after the caution. Caution's well out. Culpa checked up early. Dewar's on him, and then looks like 92 car. I think this is just going to be a gentle spin. Does he?
So
does he get into the
don't
fence?
call?
Nope, he does not.
You don't call saving a spin a save, but you will call it gentle.
That's not a save. It
He
is
didn't
gentle.
save it.
It's a
He hit
gentle
the wall.
spin.
Have you ever been spun out in a car? I've been spun out in a car. There's
Yes,
nothing gentle about it being. In real life, I have been spun out in a car and not hit anything, and I still go, "Oh, I feel sick to my stomach." I don't think anything gentle is about that.
Well, Dewar wasn't spinning around in his swivel chair, so I don't think it was gentle because he was sliding, not going too fast, but ultimately he does get some more damage, and I wonder if Ethan Stanley will pick up a tally for that one. We'll have to see what race control calls for. 3 gets the tally.
The next time we have a car that spins out on their own, I want race control to put down, just a gentle spin on the number or whatever. Well, we're gonna have probably 15 laps left to go in this event once it goes green, but what this does do is do exactly what you said. It's gonna put Nick Indelicato now on the bottom lane.
Yeah, that's where he wants to be, and that's going to provide him the best restart. But again, what we've seen is that these guys are not listening to race control, who keeps putting in his notes to stop crashing. They are not, and therefore we have continually had cautions since the Tyler Fode stayed out around the lap 120 mark, and in that case, he has been able to maintain the race lead. And as long as you can maintain the race lead until that caution hits, you're in good shape. And Fode just needs, to do that for 16 more circuits, and he'll be able to come home a race winner for the first time this season since winning the championship last year. But my assumption is that maybe we'll run a few green flag laps here at some point, right?
All I can say is I picked a really good year to get up into the broadcast booth for the Cup Series.
You could have caused at least a couple of these.
I could have been involved in a few of these, darn it. Well, I know I could have gone backwards at USA. Man, all I can say is that, boy, Amazon really got themselves a nice track. For the Amazonian 200 here. Man, they would have sold a lot of parts if it was still a racetrack right now. Well, the question is, does anybody have enough time in between these cautions to be able to make any kind of move on Tyler Fode? Because, Tyler Fode definitely does not have the advantage on tires, but it doesn't seem to really matter too much if we can't get to his back bumper.
Weeks is going to almost slam the door on Indelicato.
that almost didn't turn out very good at all for Matthew Weeks, our points leader. That could have ended real badly. But all that did was put Fody out to quite a bit of a lead here now.
Fody clear and sailing, but those tires will get back to him at some point. So, Fody just hoping these laps click off, gets another caution, and is able to get the big restart. Each time, Hunter Smith clears Tate Lytle and into fourth, so that'll mess up this Pro Edge group. But Matthew Weeks is going to clear.
Oh, right in the back. 06 is around.
Who got back to second? Did Indelicato pass Weeks for second or not? And Colin Culpa around. Culpa had been up in the top 10 at one point tonight. I didn't get a chance to mention him, and he almost immediately got sent back to the back. Been a bit of a miserable night for the 04, much like a number of drivers in this field.
06, yeah, he
06, yeah.
Yeah, he got turned down the back straight away.
They're giving Matthew Weeks P2. He had just taken it from Indelicato.
He just got loose, I think.
Yeah, and Ethan Stanley again. I'd like to see Ethan Stanley's incident total for this one. It has been
why did the 70 avoid that wreck?
The crunched can of Monster, it found a way to roll around it.
Well, you would be right on the ball with saying that Ethan Stanley has the most incident points. He has 32 at this point. Oh boy,
that's a lot for an oval race, man. He's been involved in a number of incidents tonight. Some of them his own making, some of them not his own making. That one was not, but the 92 having about the luck that Mark Martin had in the oh, there it is. See, it's a gentle spin. It was a gentle spin.
Yeah, it was just a gentle spin by the 06, really. Just a very gentle, loving spin. And that was just a gentle tap by the 92.
It was. Tap. The 92 kept on going like nothing happened. Perfectly gentle.
Yeah. I know it seems like we're making light of things, folks, but you got to have some kind of fun with events like these. This is not going to be the norm. Once these drivers get to a track, maybe they feel a little bit more comfortable on, and ultimately, people are going to. Wow.
I mean, I don't know.
Get the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah,
I mean, this feel like eventually it's gonna get calmed down in this season. It's just been a very rough point, and I think everyone's tensions are already frayed with how things have turned out so far.
This is a track that you run on street stocks when you first start out on iRacing, right? Like these guys have run this track before. Just because we don't run it often doesn't mean it's an unfamiliar track to everybody. And the layout is basically, what we ran last week, right? I mean, straightaway, banked corner, you got to get down. It's just a little bit slower. And, I would say a part of this factor is this car, right? It's very easy to get up on top of everybody with the shifting and the way this car drives. But it's also a product of iRacing where we're running a fixed league. Everybody's running the same setup. Everybody feels very similar to everybody else. And in so doing, that keeps everybody right up on top of each other. And when you're that close with netcode and judgment off of a computer screen, among other things, it makes for a chaotic race of a lot of contact. I mean, I've seen very few short track races on iRacing where everybody was able to keep it together for maybe less than 10 cautions. I have seen it. It's like seeing a zebra at the zoo. It's rare, but it's there. You got to find it way in the back.
Seeing a zebra at a zoo? Wouldn't that be where you normally see them?
Yeah, but I mean, there's not a lot of them.
They're not there. Yeah, exactly. They're blended in. Hard to see.
They don't put them right up near the entrance.
They're white and black.
Yeah, but he's saying you got to go find it.
You got to go find it. Deep in the zoo.
That's where you go find them.
What was he supposed to say? Unicorn? Then you never find it.
Yeah, it wasn't the best analogy. I'll give you that.
I got it, David. I got it.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Leave the analogies to me. No, I'm joking. Green flag is back out. Tyler Fody gets a really good start. This time, Matthew Weeks cuts in front of Nick Indelicato and able to clear himself. Now he's got to make quick work of this before there's an incident again. Now Matthew Weeks has to charge. He's throwing it in there, right on the back bumper of Tyler Fody. He's only about a half a car length. He's going to try to make the move here quick. He's going to have a couple laps left to go.
Car
6
around.
laps to go in this event. Oh,
Casey
no.
Hatch.
They're still green. They're below the line.
Tyler Fode able to hold him off, but there's cars wrecked on the front straightaway as they approach turn 3. What's going to happen?
Oh, Matthew Weeks is looking low. He's trying to see if he can dive it in there. Tyler Fode still holding him off. Here they come to 5 laps to go. Oh boy, they're getting squirrely in the back. He's not going to have much time. He's going to have to make a move here very quick if he's going to make it work.
Tyler Fode's got enough of a gap where he can kind of keep Matthew Weeks at arm's length for now.
Oh boy, Matthew Weeks has got to try to get this a little bit closer if he wants to try to do a dive bomb onto the bottom. Here they come down the front straightaway. 3 laps left to go in this event, or 4 laps left to go in this event.
Chase Cabry underneath Tate Lytle left for 6th.
Oh boy, I'm watching
3 wide behind him.
At the racetrack. Oh, the 28 involved back there. They're still going straight somehow, some way.
Yeah, there's still 3 wide. That's 2 teammates.
One back there. Oh boy, there's like 5 wrecks and it's not caused one yet. Oh, we got one now. We got a wreck. We got a wreck on the front straightaway. Big wreck. The cars around caution will be out.
And Tyler Fode will have to go into overtime on our 21st caution of the night.
Rucker's involved.
Sonny D. Is Jesse Rasmus involved? He probably was. You could have.
Gavel's involved.
Let's see what happened here. They were wadding him up. Oh, Gavel got knocked out of the way by Trey Holmes, maybe. And then Gavel inside wall, and is this Fortner in the outside wall? It's Schold into the outside wall. Stanley's in another one. Josh Adams is going to get caught up in this. Sonny D's caught up in this.
Ethan Stanley going to add to that total. Ethan Stanley up to 40 incident points now, so he got involved in a couple incidents there in the late.
Yep, Trey Holmes, the one who knocks into the 0-1 and kicks this whole thing off. And I mean, yeah, that's, Trey Holmes is running 17th. That was a battle for 17th on the racetrack. And we're wrecking each other for 17th. Trey's usually a patient guy, but I'm sure his patience has been used up a while ago.
Dusty hit that inside wall pretty hard too.
Yep. Dusty's another one. He might have 30 some odd incident points tonight. Rucker, man, he
didn't hit anybody.
Car even still running.
I don't know
how hard he hit the 6 car earlier. Oof, my goodness. Well, we re-rack him. Matthew Weeks did not have a chance to get to Tyler Fode, and now I wonder, we've had a number of heat cycles on the tires.
Goody involved kind of hard there too. Oh boy. Yeah.
Vince got into the back of Crump. 88 has issued a tally. No tally on the 14 and 24. That was a wreck that happened before the caution on the front straightaway. And
can we go back to before this wreck?
Oh.
Yeah, that was close. Let's go back to Johnny Thomas and I believe Justin Vandermeer, because Johnny Thomas is very, very upset with Justin Vandermeer, and I kind of saw it back there. It was like a lap before this wreck. That was a little aggressive, to say the least. Johnny Thomas got sent way up the racetrack.
Yeah, let's see it.
Oh,
it must have been that. Yeah, it must have been Vandermeer taking him 3 wide.
I just saw Johnny Thomas get sent up the racetrack.
He got into the 28, and then yeah,
so that was
that's an aggressive move.
You see Johnny Thomas, I think he was wanting to dive bomb it in there and pay back Justin Vandermeer, but unfortunately, luckily for Vandermeer, Johnny Thomas kind of got blocked in there. So so needless to say, there's a lot of angry people on track right now.
Yeah, that's to be expected, I think, here at a short track. I want to call to Hunter Smith running 4th. He has been in the top 5 just about all day long, and taking the Chad Frankenfield team there and running well with them. 54 car, we've seen Schold involved. Frankenfield's been crashed out, but well, Hunter Smith's been able to keep the 54 ahead of Ethan Burrell, Chase Cabry. Very fast cars. So good run for Hunter Smith. And hopefully he doesn't get wrecked right here after I said that, because that's usually what happens.
I told you, there's one big wreck, I think, that's still yet to come. And I think it might be on the white flag that we may see something like that happen. It's needless to say, we have green and white checkers for for these races, so it definitely could be used here before it's all said and done.
Good. Tyler Fode's going to get another restart. I think we have 3 green-white checkers, so it's possible we have to sit through a couple more of these, but Fode with a big jump.
Going to be able to rock it on that bottom lane. Matthew Weeks able to clear himself. Drop down in front of Nick Indelicato. 2 laps to go. Here they come out of turn 2.
And Matthew Weeks make a move on Tyler Fode. Ethan Burrell's going to go sideways, and Ethan spins it.
Ethan
cautions out.
Big wreck happening here.
And Stanley got clobbered again. Oh, Vincent got clobbered again. It's all the guys who just had been involved in everything tonight.
Hey, look, Scott Crump's back out there.
Hey, Scott Crump came back out just to get involved in another one.
I got to take his little mark off.
Yeah, time to get back.
No, he's
back against
Crump is 72 laps down. His ability to get in front of
We don't have that many
Tyler
green white
Fode
checkers, do we?
No.
I think we might want to keep the camera on Ethan Burrell here. Oh, we might want to.
He lost it. Ethan lost it all by himself, I believe, in this one.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Going
He's
after
just trying
somebody?
to get back up. No, he's
I
going
don't
back
think
to his
so.
spot. It's going back to his spot
What?
because he lost it. He lost it all. Yeah, I think iRacing's going to give Ethan. I don't think Ethan was technically the caution. So they're going to give him a certain spot in the pack that wasn't where he was right there. But yeah, Ethan lost it all by himself on the bottom of the racetrack right here. Overdrove turn 3, wiggled up off the bottom and spun it out right in front of Chase Cabry, who dodged him, and then they dodged him, and then they dodged him, and then he came down the track and hit Josh Clark and Johnny Thomas. He's
He's
come
going
up
to be my co-announcer for tomorrow night, and I'm going to have to ask him what exactly happened there because he was in a really good position and oh boy.
The advantage for Ethan is that he's already got a race win, right? He's going to be able to, take some risks. Certainly didn't want to throw away a top 5 finish like that. You never do, but if there's anybody who can afford to throw away a top 5 finish, it would be Ethan Burrell.
Well, Ethan Stanley up to 44 incidents now.
I'm surprised it was only 4x there. He got hit by the 37, and then he hit the wall.
This is gonna be a good one. Scott Crump came back on the racetrack 70 laps later. Oh well, I'm just gonna finish this off here tonight, and time to get back off the racetrack again.
Man, some of these guys have had just a very difficult night.
We really need a sponsor that's like a ibuprofen. Some just or maybe
Remember the Goodies headache sponsorship for Martinsville?
Yep.
just put that logo over the racetrack.
Yeah, we need that one. Them
Flying
to get
blimp of it.
I doubt headache powder is even a thing anymore. I think people just take pills these days, but
Headache powder.
That's what they used to be, man. I'm telling you.
What'd you do with the powder?
I assume put it on your tongue. I don't know. Put it in water and drink it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's certainly been one of the nights of all time here in this one, in this elite racing race, and for the Belly Up Cup Sports Series, and 2 out of 3 green white checkers. If we don't get to the white flag, we have another one.
I mean, they sure did. These drivers sure did make sure to make this race as long as can be for Belly Up. Going to get as much use out of this podcast or this race here for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series for their YouTube page. Going to make it as long as can be, because I think we're going to use up all our green white checkers here. As here they come back around. It's going to be Tyler Fode once again with the oldest tires on the track. Going to be starting on that bottom lane. Matthew Weeks to his outside. Here they come to the restart lane.
And Tyler Fode with another massive jump, but this time Matthew Weeks will not be able to clear Nick Indelicato. The battle will be for second.
And Nick Indelicato is going to look to try to clear himself for that second position. Coming out of turn 2, still side by side. This is exactly what Fode needs. Able to come back around. Are they going to get to the white flag? Are they going to be able to get to finish this race under
They
checkered?
are.
Oh no! They got it. We got the white.
Well,
they're going to be able to continue though. It's going to still be Tyler Fode out front. He's got to have Nick and Delicatos with a short amount of time to be able to make any kind of move here. Going into turn number 3. It's going to be Tyler Fody on the bottom, coming around the turn. Oh, Nick and Delicato right to the back bumper, side by side at the finish line. It's going to be Tyler Fody winning it at the Amazonian 200 at USA. Has a wreck behind and wreck over the track. Tyler Fody with the older set of tires able to get it done here at the short track.
Yep, remarkable drive by Tyler Fody. You know, when he stayed out, I noted if the caution keeps coming out, it's going to benefit Tyler Fody. Benefit him, it did, and that'll be a victory for the 40 car, his first of this 2024A Cup Series season, and first since becoming the champion last year. So congratulations to Tyler Fody for winning here at USA International Speedway.
Yeah, he's going to be a happy guy with that move that he made on that pit strategy. Came down to a pit strategy call to get him out front and able to out survive everything at the end here.
There's a few results here, Gerald, that are pretty mind blowing when you consider what happened in this race. For example, Ethan Stanley finished 12th. I don't. He had 100 incident points or something, right? I don't even know how that one happened. Yeah. Josh Personette was a lap down like 3 times. He finished 14th. Dusty Dewar, he wrecked 4 different times. 16th. I don't know.
Well,
Wild
we didn't have... No, we didn't. I was going to say we had one guy that finished with at least only 1 incident point, but no, that was quickly changed as well. So, yeah, every single driver here tonight had at least one 4 tally mark on their vehicle at some point tonight. Nick and Delicato had the cleanest race. Only 4 incident points to Nick and Delicato, our second place finisher. It took a race like this for the marbles to be broken.
Close.
They were very close. They were P2.
They picked the cleanest driver.
They did.
Garrison Hogan, I don't know what happened there. He was absolutely he was driving right there before the end with only 1 instant.
There's a lot of similarity to that marble race because the marbles just bang off each other as they go around the track. So
we would probably it would probably be best if we got a replay of that final lap incident at some point. But at this point, let's give some interviews and get out of here because it's
Gerald will cover it on the podcast.
Yeah, he will. So.
Well, I'm going to give it over to you, Dave, to do these to interview Matthew Weeks here.
I will do that.
I'll take over Nick.
All right. So Matthew Weeks, P3 tonight. Strong car. You led the halfway lap, but ultimately wound up not having exactly the right pit strategy, and then the cautions didn't fall your way. Take us through your night tonight, and let us know if there was anything you could have done differently with the 40 car up there.
I think the strategy was perfect. It's just the back half of the field don't know how to race clean, I guess, because we just keep on wrecking. So I just needed green flag laps. I think I could have had some on the green flag laps, but all the cautions, it just evened the tires out. Other than that, it was a long night. I felt really fast. The first 50 laps racing Garrison there up front, I was like, okay, I have something to compete tonight. So I was confident about that, and I know I stayed out at I pitted at 50 or something, and my goal was just to stay out and just get the playoff point at 100. I knew that's going to be crucial, and then from there on, it was just stay out and try to get back up there.
And with that, after you got the playoff point, where we saw you taking it easy in the back of the field, right? And it wound up working out where you could stay out at a later point in the race and get your track position back. But what was it like once you got back into the the crowded group of cars there that kind of, like you mentioned, kept wrecking?
It was crazy because I was getting aggravated. Everyone's, people are slower. I can't say they're slow. They just wasn't that fast tonight, and I was faster. But it's just a lot of people just sitting in there. I noticed some people just going 3 wide when there's really no room to. I mean, the track is big enough, but really you can't really race 3 wide here, and people just sitting underneath people and bumping and door. It's like I said last week, dude, the respect is gone, and I don't know where it's at anymore.
All right, well, going forward, you got Brands Hatch next week. how do you feel about going to, maybe a foreign road course you don't have a whole lot of experience on?
Not confident because I suck in a stock car road course, but you got to race it. And the only thing, I raced there on Gran Turismo 5. That was the last time I raced it. So hopefully I can maybe carry some stuff over and maybe member the track, but I'm probably going to run bad like I usually do at those tracks.
All right. Well, you got any shout outs for us here before we send you off tonight as probably still the points leader?
Hopefully I am. That's all my goal. Shout out, 213 Simware, JV Designs, you guys, Dave behind the booth, Belly up for broadcasting tonight. I'm sorry it was a bad race. I was hoping we would get to 600 with those guys on their YouTube, but shout out to them for doing that. That's huge. All the fueled up guys. I know Ethan was fast with the good, do good guys, and shout out to him. He had a late thing. Everyone that watched. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Matthew, and have a good night and enjoy P3, and we'll see you next week at Brands Hatch.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
That's P3 Matthew Weeks, and
Become
now
a light.
Gerald can bring in P2 Nick and Delicato.
Nick and Delicato, our marbles winner, and it proved really useful for you tonight. Came from the furthest back in the field, from 38th starting position, able to get into that second place. What did you need to be able to try to battle Matthew Weeks and have enough time to get Fody there with your 2 set of tires that you took on that last bit?
Yeah, I mean, you got it right, honestly. I think maybe one more lap. Those 2 tires actually helped a lot more than I thought they would, and I finally got a good restart, and I was kind of missing my shift into third gear on the prior couple of restarts. So I got a good restart, and then I got loose coming out of 2 on the white flag, and honestly, I think that made the difference. I felt like I could have gotten to his bumper earlier in 3 and 4, but just one more lap with the tires. Fody was super quick, as he always is, and honestly, I'm just happy to come out with a second place after starting 38th.
I don't know if you watch the podcast or anything that we do on Thursday nights, but you won the marble race there, and it's been predicted that it's not a good thing to win the marbles race, but you kind of proved it wrong here. You had the least amount of instant points. You drove through the field. I mean, you had a relatively quiet night, and overall, I mean, you had a really good finish here tonight. Is that about after starting 38th all you could hope for?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it came in here with like 10 laps of practice, and I got in here like 10 minutes before. I don't know what it is about short tracks. I hate them, but when you go back, I won North Wilkesboro last year, and then I finished second forgot who it was. I finished second at Richmond though last year. So I don't know, short tracks, if you get into a rhythm, I guess that's something I'm solid at. And actually, I didn't even know I had the least amount of incidents. That 4X that I had actually came on a restart just from a checkup. So I guess I could have had a 0, but overall, I mean, just super happy with the second place. Good points after the last 2 weeks.
Absolutely, and this is a good points run for you as we get to some other tracks. Maybe you don't have as much confidence in. I don't know if you're looking forward to the Slinger, the real course next week. But overall, I mean, what is your outlook for the rest of the season here?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited, and even before the season started, when they had the schedule, if I can get into that final round of the playoffs and just have good runs, honestly, or the second to final or the second to championship race, is a lot of good tracks for me. So if I can just get there, I think I'll be a contender like I was a couple years ago, just missing out in the final 4. So road course next week, never ran it, got to buy it, but I do like road courses. So hopefully top 10 next week and just keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. Well, we want to go ahead and let you do your thank yous and shout outs for both Shifty Esports and for your other sponsors on the car there.
Yeah, no, brand new paint this year, brought to you by our very own Seth Rawls. Seth makes our paint schemes every week for Shifty Esports, and he does a great job at it. Our team as a whole, I mean, Gavin's been fast. We've all been fast this year. So everybody's working together really, really well. And through ITV for hopping on this year and helping us out. Through ITV's been honestly an awesome part of my career in a handful of leagues, and Carlos and those guys over there are just great guys. So go check them out. Go check out Shift Esports, and if you need a paint for iRacing, go hit up Seth Rawls. Thank you guys again.
That was our our second place finish there. Nick Endelicato with a really good, strong run for himself there. I'm going to give it over to Dave as he interviews our winner here for tonight.
I finally get to interview Tyler Fody once again. And Tyler, good race tonight, but take us through what was very clearly the race-winning move being that strategy call to stay out with about 80 laps to go.
Yeah, dude, finally worked out for me. I am always on the wrong side of the strategies in
I
every
know.
kind of situation.
I
I'm like,
followed you into it a couple of times.
yeah, I always lose to the, I'm running top 3. I'm gonna pit now, get the fresh tires. Who cares if any guys stay out? We got 60 laps left. It'll pay off. I always do that. And for once, I was like, let's just screw it here, because we had actually had some decent runs prior to that, and we were getting into that window where it becomes an elite race right at the end there. So I'm like, if we just stay out here and this turns into what I think it's going to turn into, I think I got a shot at it. And I had been saving, just riding around the laps prior to that, so I wasn't too bad on tire wear. And yeah, sure enough. But there was a couple close calls. I was trying to mix up the restart a little bit in the box, and a couple times there I got real nervous because they got some pretty good jumps, but ended up working out there.
Yeah, and take us through when you had your teammate Ethan Stanley up there too, right? Didn't he get a black flag
Man.
and some other stuff? So explain that one for us.
That was tough because Ethan had tires, or 2 tires or something, and I forget who was directly behind me also had tires, or like 4 tires maybe, and I was taking the top and I was thinking, like, if I could see the guy rolling up behind me, I forget who it was. And I'd been going early, and I was worried that if I went early again as he was rolling to me, he was going to go right with me pretty much and be outside of Ethan, and eventually get by Ethan. And I was just trying to solidify one of us getting the lead. So like last second, and we didn't talk about it, but last second I just figured I was going to wait, try and throw the guy off behind me on the jump. And I ended up throwing Ethan off, and he, like, I guess anticipated me going, and I hadn't gone yet. So that did really suck, and I'm really glad I still ended up hanging on to win, because if I didn't after that, it was going to be pretty unfortunate. But yeah, that's all that was, just some misjudgment there.
I gotcha. And let me take you to next week after winning this one, right? It's Brands Hatch, and you are going against Tate Lytle for the belly up bracket, which is I think an extra $100. So, what's your plan going into that one? And have you been at Brands Hatch before, where you'd have some experience to be able to run up front?
Well, fortunately, I think they're actually off of the bracket till the 600.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have to double check that, but yeah, I'm glad it's not at Brands Hatch, because I've never run that track, and I'm going to be actually getting off a plane like an hour before, so I'm going to be missing all of practice. So I might have to find some time between now and then. But no, I'm looking forward to the 600, and also the Brands Hatch course is going to be new, but it does look like a fun layout, kind of a smaller road course, so it should be a fun time.
I got it. And any further shout outs here before we send you off tonight?
Well, yeah, all the Lake Norman guys, like you mentioned earlier there, Ethan had a good run going there. Scott never really got his night going. Yeah, just up and down. It's kind of how these races go. You can have all the speed in the world, and by the time that first split comes into play with the tires, it's all it's a lot of luck from there. So anyway, shout out to all them for just hanging in there all night. JD Designs also finally got the new scheme in Victory Lane. So happy to do that. I'm thankful for him painting all of our cars this year. And shout out to you guys, and also Belly Up Sports for putting on this race tonight.
Awesome, Tyler. Well, congratulations on this one, and as you go to try to repeat as the champion, celebrate this win and look for more in the coming weeks.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
That is Tyler Fody, race winner tonight at the Amazonian 200. And Gerald, it's been a long one. I think we might be about ready to sign off, but join us next week for Brands Hatch at I think we're back on the Elite Racing Network, right?
Yeah, I do believe for the time being, we hope Belly Up decides they want us back onto their station. They may get flagged for for violence. So if you watch back, what a crazy race that was. But overall, again, we thank Belly Up Sports for allowing us to be able to come over to their side of things and to give a little bit of our lives to showcase what we are about here. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. David Westergreen, my co-host, once again doing amazing job of doing this broadcast with me and having a lot of fun this season. Really thankful to be up here in the booth where we don't have a lot of angry people at us at the end of the race. And of course, thank Dave Huckleberry, producing these and showing us these wonderful sights from this extinct racetrack here of USA. And again, we appreciate everyone for tuning in. We will be back at Slinger on April 7th, so we do have a little bit of a gap where we will have a break, maybe for the best for some of these drivers to take a little bit of a breath and get reset. As tonight was a rough one, but we do have some exciting races coming up where we should see some clean racing from these drivers going forward. So once again, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We hope you have a wonderful time. Thank you again. We hope to see you April 7th at the same time back over on the Elite Racing Network YouTube page there. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe and have fun.